Getting it going?
Sounds good.
Right. Stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Scout oath.
All right, the rec department meeting is in session. So, trying to get a little bit better of putting the notes out. So our texting group, we need to go over more of the do's and the don'ts with that group. That group is more for if we have a last minute thing that we need something, or we want to throw out a random idea, but not per se like a scheduling or making official business type group. So that way we can kind of keep the professional aspect so that it's open for everybody to see, but yet we can all still talk and whatnot, but not be talking business.
Should we meet a little more often in person?
I have it so that right now we have our next meeting set up for a month from today. I think it's September 25th. Yeah, is what we have it. So we're going to try to do every month. We'll try to meet if that works with everybody. That way we can kind of stay on base with everything. As we get closer to various events, we can definitely try to finalize everything. But also, if we have an event that had just happened, we'll be able to go over what went well, what we think that we should work on for the next one. Okay, so currently right now we have our fundraiser going with the mums. The last order date is September 19th. And then we're going to have a pickup day, which we'll do at the old gym. I told them that there's the possibility that we'll change it to the field, depending on how many kids we have and how we want to do it, on the 24th. I wanted to get everybody's opinion, so we're looking at trying to get a new shed. So the old gym being as bad as it is, we need a new storage facility. The shed that we have on the field isn't big enough to put all of our supplies in, nor is it sealed properly to be able to put. So we can put some stuff in it, like we can have our painting stuff, we can have the ice rink stuff, anything that mice aren't going to bother with, but we need something that has more sealing to it. My question for everybody is, what size does everybody think that we should go for before I just jump out and...
Can we look and see what's in there?
Yeah, we need to see what we're looking
I was gonna say,
first.
we probably have, because we have like 3 or 4 totes, big totes for Christmas stuff. We probably have 7 or so, those big baseball duffel bags. We have 2 bags of the jersey covers for the net shirts that go over. We've got multiple bags of soccer balls.
We've got the mat at John's.
Yeah, we've got the mat that's at your place.
You're gonna need a big shed.
Yep, that ain't gonna fit in the shed.
No.
How long was that one?
It's like 15 or 20 feet.
Wow.
It's
And it's
long.
like
I would say
wrestling.
it took
It's
about
like
5 of us
wrestling,
to lift and get it up the stairs.
Well, it's, the question is, do we go for something that's 16 feet long? Do we go for something that's 20 feet long?
I think we should take an inventory and see, because we talked about getting a dumpster and just cleaning that out and looking to see what we were left with. And then ditto at the field.
Do we have a day that everybody would be able to meet up that we can go do that?
Any day for us, I think.
Wednesdays
after-
or weekends for me.
Wide open over here.
Carissa went late afternoon.
Yeah,
after
late
this,
afternoon I could
you know,
do, yeah,
like
absolutely.
after the heat of the day.
Like Mondays
Well,
and
we still
Tuesdays I
have-
work till 2, and then Thursdays and Fridays I'm working till 5, so.
We're gonna have to be a little cautious too, because I start bus driving again next week.
Okay.
Bus is back on the road.
All right,
Heads
so
up. So
if we can do it during the week, that would be probably preferable.
you said Wednesdays you're off.
Yeah, Wednesdays I'm off.
Wednesday's good for me.
Can we do a Wednesday morning?
Yeah?
I can check my schedule.
Yeah.
I know Connor's.
As far as the the wrestling mat, is that gonna be at the school?
We're looking at, so we still have to bring that to the board. the selectmen and make sure they're okay with it.
Okay.
And then we'll most likely be doing it at the school.
We do have the closet at the school that has all our basketball stuff, and they have always allowed us to keep that.
Is it the one at the end of the gym?
The one on the left-hand side when you walk into the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so.
don't know if
If you could stand it upright, it would fit, otherwise it's gonna be a
It will,
tight fit.
it will bend in half. That's how it came to us in the back of the truck.
Yeah, but we don't want that for wrestling,
No.
because then,
But
It'll start to crack.
It's a beast.
Yeah.
right now, we have it rolled up laying flat.
Could you stand it upright in the closet and you think it would fit in that space? I bet it'd be pretty tight.
I mean, we could kind of bungee
Call
cord
that
it to
closet.
keep
But
it
if that falls
straight.
over on someone, that's gonna.
Oh, yeah, that would crush,
Special.
that would
Yeah.
You
crush a
could
kid.
probably, if the school allows it, put some sort of a bungee around to secure
I've got
it,
two
Do a
or
couple.
three bungee cords around it now, holding it rolled.
but up against the corner of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
wall
and
if it's
then-
gonna fit, so. Maybe check with the school and make sure they'll allow us to keep it there.
Yeah, I
And
can check with,
see how tall that is, the closet is, and see if we can put it in there.
did you
Yeah,
say
that-
And
that'd
that'll
be- that'd be
alleviate the shed at least for that.
At least during wrestling season, whenever that is, we wanna keep
Really?
it at the school.
Yeah, we leave the balls there all year.
Oh, yeah, you
so-
can't, you're not gonna wanna move this from place to
yeah,
place
no, you don't wanna
often.
leave it, wherever we're gonna do it, we're gonna,
We had, what, three or four of us bring that upstairs?
Yeah, there was
Five of us?
five of us to get it to the stairs, 4 of us to hoist it up the stairwell.
Where is it now?
It's in our
At your
barn,
house?
It's
yeah.
in our barn.
And as far as the stuff in the shed, most of the stuff in the corner, I mean, down here in the storage, most of that stuff just needs to get thrown away. It's all the old uniforms
Yeah, I was
and
gonna say
whatnot.
that's-
Everything else was pretty much in its own tote and,
well, would you guys be interested in doing, instead of doing Wednesday, do, maybe this Tuesday at 3, that way we can go in, that way we can get a size that we're looking at?
there shouldn't be a whole lot of stuff that needs to be thrown away, maybe like one truckload.
Can we do it on a day when the transfer station is open?
We don't have to, we can pile everything that we wanna throw in the
And they'll
corner,
take
and
it?
Rob will
Okay,
come take
okay.
it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Then that's, yeah,
Even better.
anytime.
Most of that stuff was gone through, Carol and I did that 2 years ago, so for the most part, everything should still be in its own,
Gonna say, all the totes that we've been using, we have right against that mid wall right now,
yeah.
and then the stuff in the back is all of the other stuff.
And a lot of the Christmas tree stuff,
Yep, that's right there
that
too.
can, some of that can get through, that's never really been gone through, that's just stuff that was passed on to us, and a lot of it is things that we probably won't, one tote is probably stuff that we won't use, so.
3 o'clock on Tuesday work for everybody?
Sure.
This Tuesday?
Here?
Can you look at
Just,
your,
yeah, just at the old gym.
can I just see what the, it's fine. I just
no, no.
wanna, I don't have my phone, so
I'll
I'm
just
gonna
have to
be
bring
dependent
Haley,
on
I just
him.
have to get Haley to do the high school for,
Say the
6.
23rd.
So I'll
Wait,
just
I'm-
bring
I have two little ones with me.
I'm thinking that we're only gonna be here for maybe half an hour to an hour.
Okay.
I'm not thinking we're gonna be very long.
Most of it's been
Tuesday,
done,
and you
so.
said 3?
Just bring it with you.
Yes.
Okay, no problem. Okay. Yeah, Tuesday at 3.
Have fun. I'll try, but
Have you looked at prices on sheds at all?
I'm starting to, yeah, but it's more so I'm trying to figure out what size we wanna go to, because the prices are, and I'm reaching out to local companies as well as the big time, because the local companies, you can usually get more of a break.
Are you finding that the sizes are a huge difference or not?
Not really,
Price-wise, no?
not really.
I
So-
would say at least 12 by 16, if not bigger.
Well, and when I've talked to some of the selectmen about it, they said that think of what you want and then go a little bigger.
Well, yeah, because we're gonna want wiggle room too. We're not gonna want everything so packed in that we have to
Well,
like
it's-
shimmy
Take
through.
20
everything
by
out to
20.
get the thing in the
You know,
back.
it'd
That's
be
what I
nice
was-
to have a little bit of room in that
If, I
shed.
You
mean,
wanna
if
be able
there's
to
not a
use
big
shape it
difference
so
in
you can
price,
walk
I
in
would go as
and
big as we
access
can.
Yeah, you
every
can barely
point.
get in that one and grab stuff.
Yeah,
Access
and
every point, so you're not pulling everything out to
Are
get
they
in.
giving you a price range or?
Nope, they want me to just give them prices back.
Oh,
So that's why I wanna get an idea of where we wanna be.
Then I would go big.
And we would want to put it.
And where we want to put it is the other thing. I almost thought about just putting it abutted to the back of the one that we have at the field, maybe moving that one over a little bit.
Yeah,
so
it's
that
not a
more
lot of
like
room
kitty
there.
corning. Well, I'd like to put it like maybe back at that corner of the fence, like see
Yeah.
if we can get a tractor and just move it back, so that way it's in the corner of the fence.
can we try to get part of it like comped or donated from a company? Because there's a lot of companies that if like we put their name out there.
Well, we absolutely can.
Okay.
And that's gonna be part of when we're going to get pricing in that, it's gonna be what is the best price that people can give us on these things. So I'm not just looking online and getting a price.
Yeah.
I'm reaching out to. So right now I'm looking online to get myself an idea, but I'm going to be reaching out on behalf of the rec to see about pricing.
The dog food pantry in Waterboro, they got a brand new shed donated by a local company, and it was a big one, so we can.
Well, the other one that we can look at too is we can always reach out to Maplestone. We can reach out to the Sanford High School.
Oh, yeah, they built sheds.
That's a really good idea.
They built the sheds, yeah.
They build them and they donate them, so I can reach out to the group.
Yeah.
And see, as those two options. So there's Maplestone.
Is Maplestone the school down here?
Yeah, on Milton Road, Milton Mills, well, Maplestone. Because one of my friends actually works over there, or SHS, Building Trades.
That'd be good, too. Bedford does it too for different towns, the high school.
And then also just looking for some of our local, like we have some, they call them like the barn builders and the shed houses and whatnot. They're small companies versus the big guys. And a lot of times if they know, they'll donate and then they'll burn their name right in the back. One of my other ideas was going over to the Longest Yard and seeing right there on the end of, by 202, and seeing if he'd build something.
So, good thinking.
All right, so there's that. So we'll go over on Tuesday and we'll get an idea, unless you guys want to walk over there today after we're done, just to look.
Either way, both.
You want to just walk over today while we're here?
Fine, yeah.
Might as well.
Okay, we'll just walk over because then we can go through, we can get an idea, and then when we're moving stuff, then we can know that we're throwing a bunch of this away, we're throwing a bunch of this away. Because there's a bunch of uniforms that are over there that are
Yeah, we
from.
talked about that last
Yeah.
time, that we were gonna kind of ditch those and start over.
Yep, and when you go in, do this. It's bad.
It is, yeah.
Okay, so, cheer and tumbling ends August 30th, and the improv ends August 31st. So that's not this coming week, it's the following week.
I wanted to ask how the improv was going. What's the attendance been like?
Improv seems to be going pretty well. Carissa can probably give us more of an update. It sounds like it's a little bit, wishy-washy with.
It's hard, like, that, I don't know, there's not enough structure in it to get them actually, like, out of their head and doing stuff. It's more of having to, like, hey, you're gonna be this person, like, instead of them trying to just create characters in their heads but it's a lot of just games right now.
Okay.
That's all it's kind of been.
How many kids have been going, like 4, 5, 6, 7?
So,
Riley here too.
Riley, no, all 3 have been.
Okay, so 6? Plus the high school kids?
His 2 siblings, Riley, Matilda,
It's like between
My
5
3.
and 10.
yeah.
Probably like 7 kids.
It's a
or so.
good start.
So what we'll probably have to do if he decides to do it again is we'll probably have to back with some sort of structure.
Yeah,
on it.
it definitely with structure. I mean, he's got it in him to do it. Like, he's definitely trying to engage them. They're more of just all stuck in their heads, so it's finding the right ways to get them out of their heads to participate into it. Because a lot of them are all really, really shy, and so you got a whole group of shy people trying to.
With the last days coming for both of them, is there something, so we were originally planning on doing like the end of season like presentation. However, we missed one day with the cheer and things are kind of, they're going awesome. Coach Nicole is amazing with those kids, all of them. So I don't know if we're going to do a presentation per se. But she does have parents asking her about when the next class is.
Oh, good.
And she'd like to do something for gymnastics. So I want to bring that to the board and make sure that they're okay with it. And if that's the case, I want to see if there's a possibility we can do it in here. Because she has more of the mats and more of the octagon stuff and whatnot, and it's not like they're going to be getting thrown into the sky. So we don't have to worry about that aspect. And then she's also willing to do cheerleading for us when it comes for basketball season.
Oh, good.
So for the last day, do we want to plan on doing anything that day, whether we just do hot dogs and burgers or something?
I think that's nice.
As like a little celebration you know, thank you for coming out for the season,
Absolutely.
like we done? Yeah.
I
Okay,
don't think it'd be a bad idea to combine the two. I know they're on separate days, but maybe if we can reach out and combine the two and make it just one night, that improv practice at the field for their last night and everyone have hot dogs and hamburgers. That way it's less funds being spent.
that would be,
A combination, and some of them are in cheer and improv. So,
And it's more of a party for the improv kids. We'd have, you know,
Right.
combined, we'd have a better turnout.
I'll reach out to improv because that's the smaller group, and I will see if they can come on the 30th, and then we'll plan on doing something on the 30th, if that works for everybody.
What's the 30th?
It's a Tuesday.
Tuesday. So a week from Tuesday.
What time?
They are from 4 to 8 is
But when would you do?
well, that's what,
8 o'clock is too late to
8
be
o'clock is
setting
too
up
late.
burgers.
so we
lose the
can,
light.
maybe at like 4:30, 5 o'clock, we can start doing food so that as the kids are on the field and
as they're
coming off.
finishing, they're going to eat.
Yeah, so it's as they're roaming, and if we do it for 2 hours per se, it gives them all the end of the lesson or the beginning of the lesson for the older kids. She can give them their certificates and their shirts and then can come over and have burgers.
Yeah, I think that's nice.
Yeah.
So should we say like 4:30 to 7:30, 4:30 to 6:30?
Yeah, only because we start, not that I don't want to be there, but it's
No, no,
just
no.
we really start losing the light, and cleanup is a little
Yeah.
bit of a challenge.
Okay.
And I'll be able to help you
bugs.
because I'll be there, so.
I think that's lovely.
So 4.
If we can get a head count so we have an idea who's
Yes.
staying,
I
sort of
will,
thing.
I will ask her on Tuesday to get a head count from all of the parents so that we have it for the following. I will send over an email to all of the improv kids, including Drake, who's our coach over there. Carissa has actually taken on, she's been over there
I
making
jump
sure
in
the
and
adults,
improv too.
yeah, making sure there's an adult there at all times.
Nice.
So
Can you get them to read something like part of
They
a
were gonna bring,
script? so
they were gonna bring scripts and I don't know what's happened with that. That kind of fell through because it was brought up to bring
That's
scripts
just
and
nice
have
on
them
the stage and the
scripting.
lights and all of these eyes on them, if they can even just read, you know,
Yeah.
a paragraph from a favorite book or
So
something, just to
he
get them
had said
used
he was
to
gonna
it.
get scripts, but then something fell through. I'm not really quite sure. So it's been a lot of playing improv games. It's more breaking the ice, getting them to, like, getting them out of who they are.
Right.
Into creating something on the spot.
Right,
and they
right.
kind of like.
Well, that's if they had something, and it doesn't even need to be a script, but just,
because we played. It's a game called Park Bench, and it's when these two people sit down and you have to just be somebody. So what he ended up changing it and saying, okay, fine. What do you guys all want them to be? And so they're telling them, hey, you're gonna be a British sailman, or you know. So he's telling them. So I
giving a
noticed it made a
trigger.
shift. It helped them. Okay, this is who I'm gonna be. So let's just go with it.
fun.
He's got a lot of ideas in his head. It's just trying to get them out.
Right, and it's his first time.
And
Right.
it's
When he's
structured.
young, so
Yep.
it's just, you know, it really is. I can see it blossoming. I truly can. It's just right now it's very,
It's like he's,
But that's something we can continue
Chaos.
to do,
Yeah,
so
it's
we could do it again
definitely-
over the winter if we wanted to, if we could find a space for it,
Yeah,
and just
absolutely.
keep it rolling.
I mean, they're all laughing. I
Right.
mean, it's
half
not
the
that they're
battle.
miserable.
Getting out.
They're laughing. They're not engaging on electronics. It's nice to see, so.
what was,
For when we guys do the hot dog, burger dinner, I think we still have all that soda at your house. Do we have all that soda?
no, it's all at the shed.
And is it, okay.
Yeah, it's all in the
It is,
fridge,
do you,
yeah.
would anybody object to me trying to get, some of the food donated? Okay. I was just making sure, cause,
We don't need hot dogs.
no, I
I
know.
think.
Nope.
I know, we got like 100 last time. So I just give me a list, what you guys want, and I can work on that for you, because I don't think I'll be able to go to the thing, but I can at least help you out on that aspect.
Burgers, cheese, and bacon.
There you
Those are our
go.
sellers.
Burger, cheese, bacon, potato salad, pasta salad.
Do we need it?
I've got and rolls. I've got a whole box of,
Airheads?
brand new box of Airheads.
Okay.
I wouldn't
If you can
say
get
a
Airheads
lot.
donated, then,
I wouldn't
know,
say a
'cause
lot of potato or pasta salad. I don't think we went through a lot, did
No.
we, for baseball? At the end, I don't think we went through a lot of it.
Oh, at the field day?
We,
Or maybe it was the field.
It was
day.
a field
yeah,
day.
we didn't have, we did the
Yeah.
pizza, burgers,
Yeah.
and dogs
It was the
for
field day.
baseball.
I sold like 4 bowls.
Yeah, I would say it
Yeah.
really wasn't a
It was
big.
too hot, I
I mean,
think.
we can look at doing like if somebody wants to donate pizza again or something too, but
Oh, yeah.
whatever you want to find that you can do that's food for the kids, that doesn't come out of the pocket.
Okay. Because that's like my area, like I like to do.
Go for it. We have a new bag of chips, but we could, if we're doing this and we're doing primarily like burgers and dogs and that, we could
Okay.
probably use more chip
So we got
donations.
enough hot dogs still.
We've
Okay.
got a bunch of sodas and that still in the fridge. We've
Okay.
got all
Water
of the
and stuff.
Gatorades and that. I mean, if you can get more Gatorades and that donated, because
yeah,
we're gonna
yeah.
go through a bunch.
Those are the staples, and we'll use
Yeah.
them, we'll take them wherever we go.
It's blue and red, right? You think?
It's blue and red.
Blue and red.
Blue and red.
I mean, they'll take whatever's there.
Yeah, blue and red.
Blue and red.
And-
Emphasis on blue.
Right? I don't know why everybody likes those flavors. It's just the normal flavors, I guess. I can do that. Okay.
You know, and if you want to get pizza, then
Yeah.
have a pizza party, and we'll keep the burgers and dogs for another time.
Okay. I don't know if Iron Trust will do it again, but there's another.
Willie's.
Willie's. Yeah.
Willie's will only, well, they only did half price.
Did they?
Only, I shouldn't say only, because so was a big help.
Yeah.
They did half price pizzas up to 12 pizzas for basketball.
Oh, that's nice.
That's good.
That's nice. You know, whatever.
Yeah, treating.
I think for such what's likely to be a small crowd,
Yeah. Cause,
doing both is
okay.
and we have,
much.
yeah.
yeah, cause I
It
knew.
was too much
food.
for baseball. There was a lot of
It
food
was a
there.
lot, yeah, I
We
was
sent-
some of the other,
We
honestly.
sent a lot of
Yeah.
pizza home.
Cause I know Trading Post
did?
got
Oh,
sold.
No, we didn't. We didn't have any pizza.
We only had one whole pizza left. That was it. We didn't even get that.
I was saying, I didn't even
We
see any
brought
of
home
the
a
pizza, 'cause otherwise I
pizza,
would've.
but everything.
Boston's brought home two.
Bummer, I wish I
Because
would've known
when I
that.
went up there, there was only the one left.
We had two of them. We got them so early in the day. It was so hot. We needed to- There's no place to store it.
Yeah.
We needed to move those. So
Okay, so
Okay.
we'll look at getting some donations and that for
Talking
those.
about not doing it all at once, we're doing it as the groups.
We're gonna do 4:30 to 6:30, so it'll be
So as you
the
come for
first.
your class, you can have, or you come off the field, you can have.
Yeah.
if you're early, you have an option. You can eat before you start. You can eat when you're done. If you're coming later, you're going to eat before you start jumping, which may or may not be a good idea, but we'll figure
Right, we'll get to.
They can eat whenever they want.
Nurse
to,
Hope
right?
over there.
They can take it, they can, you know, we can wrap things up. We still have those big green wraps. We can wrap things up.
Yeah.
People can take them
It's
home.
not like they're doing wind sprints, so.
So we've got, during the 4:30 to 6:30 window, they can come in and they can eat whenever they want to. And then probably at the end of their lesson, I'll have Coach Nicole give them their certificates and their shirts and that, so that they'll get their stuff all together, but they can eat whenever, is kind of how we're looking at it. Okay, food pantry. We have that going on with the Girl Scouts on September 4th from 9 to 1. We have Kona Ice coming as well. If you come and donate any food item, you're going to get a free Kona. All of the proceeds that the Coles raise from selling Kona Ices will also be donated to the food pantry. Awesome. So they're an amazing group. So they are coming as well, and they will be here again 9 to 1, and we'll set up shop over by the old gym. Does anybody else, I have one easy up that I can bring. Anybody else have an easy up they can bring just to kind of give some shade?
Yeah,
You do? Okay, you do?
just 10 by 10.
10 by 10.
I can come in, I can get tables that we
Walmart
need.
special.
They are planning on meeting us at the end of it so that we can shift
Bring it
all the
all
food
in.
right in. We're not bringing any food home.
Yeah.
We don't have to store it, nothing, it's just going straight over. Okay, so there's that, so we'll have a couple easy ups. I figure probably get here for like 8:30, 8:40 so that we can set up, give it that few minutes to,
Can you let us know if we should bring both on the day of, or what you're looking? Should we just by default?
Should we just
me and
automatically
Carissa
bring both of ours?
yeah. I would by default, just
Okay.
so that it will give us that shade, because who knows, it might be 90 degrees outside, or it might be 60 degrees outside. But it would still be nice to have a little bit of that place to get out of the sun, where the sun's gonna be hitting on that side.
And all
In the
my
morning.
teens there to help
Something we
too.
should probably put on our list to buy for the rec, so people don't have to bring theirs all the time.
Yeah, that's one.
And you're going, right?
I'm going.
Yes,
And-
and so we're dividing. John's going home.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay.
Okay.
I will do a blueberry dessert, and I think it was Christine at Best Berry Farm.
Oh,
Forgive me.
Berry Best, right?
Berry Best,
Yes,
thank you.
in Lebanon.
So she's
yes.
gonna donate.
She's awesome.
I'll pick and she'll donate.
Oh, awesome.
So I'll do, I think I have these nice little paper boats.
Mm-hmm.
So dessert like for 2 and we can sell them for, I don't know, whatever.
Okay, so we're gonna do, what is it gonna be, do you know?
Like a blueberry crumble.
Okay, can I advertise it at Consumer?
Please do.
Okay.
And you're coming? Okay.
Absolutely.
And you're coming?
Yep, I'll be there and I'll have the teens with me to help.
And the Girl Scouts will have their own table with the boxes, and then they're gonna earn, I don't know what badge it is, I gotta ask her, it's some badge.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Service.
It's gonna be, and they're gonna rotate the kids out so they're not there the whole day, cause that's a long time.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so, and we'll have a rec table, you said?
Yeah, we'll bring like
Okay.
the shirts that are at the shack.
Yeah,
We'll
okay.
bring those over, that way we can
And
sell
the
some of those.
bandanas, can I put pressure on you? I think the bandanas,
Mm-hmm.
you've got your own market and you're selling them
Yep.
really nicely, but I think the little things,
Yeah.
especially for the dogs, and
Yeah.
they're $5 or $6,
Yeah.
you know.
I'll
I
do
just think
that.
That's really,
And have some of the
that's
cups.
nice.
Really? Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because if we can have a few things
Yeah, a
that are
little
for
bit of
sale for the
anything.
rec too, we'll put it right in the box.
Yeah,
Has a
exactly.
Cricut maker now.
I do, but you wanted to keep that for yourself, so. All right, soccer starts the last week of August, so not this week, but the week after is what we have it coming up as.
Where are we at for kids?
So far, I've been hounding some of the coaches because they haven't made it in to sign up their kids. DJ.
Oh, not, you
It's like, hey.
can count on my kids to be there,
Oh, yeah.
so.
I have a few that I've harassed a little bit, and I'm just waiting to hear back on some. I know pretty much all of them are going to be playing. So right now for pre-K, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 on the list, but I know that there's a few more. This is the pre-KK group.
Okay.
They're going to be on Fridays. We have first and second grade that are going to be Wednesdays at 5:30. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 currently signed up. Again, I'm still missing a couple. Third and fourth. So we were going to do Thursdays and we decided to change it to Wednesdays at 5:45.
It'll be at the same time.
So it'll be at the same time. We'll have the third and fourth on the bigger field and we'll have the first and second on the smaller field. Because that seemed to work out better for some of them and for parents that have kids in both groups, so right now in that group,
Doing one group, not separate teams.
yeah, the third and fourth is a team and then the first and second will be a team.
What happens if first and second runs to like 20 players or more?
Then we'll break it up into multiple teams.
Okay.
Yeah, so if we have so many kids, because how many kids do we need on a team?
I'd
the
say
younger ones?
10 to 12 would be comfortable for soccer.
For the older, but
You're
for the
gonna have-
younger, you're,
Yeah, well, the younger, the tots, like the first and second graders, 8 to 10, because their field is smaller, but then when you bump up to the bigger field, you want 3 on offense, 3 on defense, goalie. So yeah, 6, 7 on the field and then 3 subs. Something like 10 and 12 is comfortable for numbers.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 so far for the third and fourth grade.
Oh, nice.
And we have 5 right now for fifth. So for fifth, I'm hoping we're gonna still get a couple more coming in.
0 for 6.
0 for sixth.
6 is probably going to the school doing
I think
it.
the sixth are going to be included in the middle school this year, so it's 6th, 7th, and 8th. Because of how many kids they have, they always bring it, it's either 7th and 8th or 6th, 7th,
I
and
wonder
8th.
how many other towns are doing that then. And if we should rethink the 3rd and 4th, like you suggested already, I think, should we do 3rd through 5th?
I was almost thinking doing 3rd through 5th because pretty much out of all of the kids that I just said for 3rd and 4th grade, only 2 of them are 4th, the rest are all 3rd, and every other kid is 5th. So I'm almost wondering if we combine 3rd through 5th together.
Are they experienced? Have they played before?
A bunch
Do
of
we
them
know?
have played, yeah.
It's a tough one. I
That
gotta
could be,
chew on
that could be,
Because 3rd
Can I see the
graders
list?
versus 5th graders is, that's about as
That's a
much
big-
disparity between a 12 and 15.
I have some that aren't on there, just so you know.
No, I want,
Like my
know if
kid
you
Leo versus a 5th grader would
But
just
that
be
gives the rundown.
Right.
David and
Yeah.
Goliath.
Not what each age range should
you know,
have.
it's a physical sport. It's not like
Can you send that to me?
baseball where it really isn't that big a deal.
Did we
I,
reach out to the homeschool groups?
Yeah, she's.
Not
she's
yet,
doing
I
it.
haven't.
Can you post it, because I want.
That's what we have, you, Chris.
Yep, absolutely.
Post it out on the homeschool groups, because we want to get them signed up ASAP.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to end, signups on Tuesday.
If you could help me figure out how to
fifth and
word
sixth
it
grade team,
later on.
Just share my,
And I don't know
Sure,
if
the
Katrina can play or not. I won't know that until she gets her cast off.
yep, that's fine.
So that may be another,
If anyone's-
that's all there is.
If anyone's dialed into the sixth graders, maybe just kind of put the word out and see if it spreads about, hey, fifth and sixth grade, we'll run a team for that if you guys don't want to do it through the school. See if we can draw any sixth graders in, because
I might meet with Miss Hall and find out if she's incorporating sixth grade into the middle school this year.
Can you,
Benny Dobson is another one that'll probably be on. I'm trying to figure out how to work him in because he has Taekwondo on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
can you call, the school and ask them to put an email out to the parents? Or a text out to the parents? Call Amanda, ask her to put a text out to the parents? And
feel
tell
like
them that
we're-
their signups, and she'll do that. no
Who's
problem.
gonna be
She's
coach for
always
that?
done that.
The fifth, sixth grade group will most likely be TJ and Don,
that's fine.
if that's okay.
I don't know anything about coaching soccer, so.
The roles could be switched, because I learned from you for baseball,
Baseball,
so I've
Well,
got
I
all
mean,
the
if
drills
you-
already lined out in my head.
So-
I've got
Ben, yes.
equipment.
Okay.
Ben,
If one of them wants to try to talk to Connor, he might be
Oh, yeah.
more willing.
Oh.
I
Work on
think
Connor.
it's more
What grade is he going into?
six.
Oh, he'd be perfect.
So he'd be good for the team, but he's like,
he's
I
not,
don't really
hesitant.
know if he's very hesitant because he's never been interested in
he-
soccer. So if someone could talk to him about soccer, he might be.
He was the same way with improv, and then all of a sudden now he wanted to do
And
improv.
he did not want to do cheer when Haley dropped out. He was
And he went back and did it
very
anyways.
defiant, and he
That's-
went back, and she did such a good job with him that he was like, I'm not quitting. I can't wait to go back.
I make
So maybe
practices-
he comes and just checks it out, and if he thinks
gonna
he's
say
gonna
that.
like it, he can sign up, but we'd let him on the field, I assume, we've done that for others, come and try it, if it doesn't work, no strings.
As long as they're signed up and we have the form in hand, then he can come. If we don't have the form, they can't go on the field, because if they do get
Liability.
injured,
Yep, yep.
and we know that family's gonna drop out.
Connor doesn't. Okay, Connor doesn't. He's my athletic.
Just have him show up at the first practice. I make it real fun. I play music. I got all these drills set up, and we
Okay.
do like icebreakers to begin with. So I think he'll just get sucked in with all the other kids just being kids, you know? So
What day would you
it's
like-
less about soccer and more about just kids hanging out with each other for the first practice or two. What's up?
what day would you guys like to do practices? 'Cause
I
that's
guess
the-
I'd do Thursday because Wednesday is pretty booked up. I could do Tuesday or Thursday. Don't matter.
Tuesday or Thursday, which day do you want?
Thursdays.
I'll do whatever TJ wants, because I'm,
Which day works better, Tuesday or Thursdays?
Let's do Thursday because it's closer to game day, and I like doing it.
And what
Practice is
time?
closer to game day. Same as the third and fourth,
5:30?
5:30, yeah.
Does that start next week or the
Time
week
to get
after?
home and get him.
John Botel,
'Cause I get out at 4:45. So.
isn't coaching, but his daughter may, help me want to do some community hours, and she's assisted him for the past 3
Summer?
years, yeah.
I'm saying, I haven't even gotten a response back from him yet.
I saw an email from him.
I haven't gotten it. Maybe he just sent it to you.
Oh,
So
maybe.
you'll have to look, okay. So we'll go back to that.
He's on my hit list as well on a totally different. What? He's on my hit list. I would love to have a conversation with him. Are you friends with him?
I mean, I mean,
Could you ask him to reach out to me?
I can if you.
It's all good. It's all good.
Certainly.
Okay.
It's on my hit
You
list.
said hit list and then said all good.
Where?
It's on my hit list.
On my
How
hit
much
list.
gear do I need to get?
Let's
for
stop right
soccer?
into his shop
Just,
any day. I'm sure he wouldn't mind.
Cleats are almost
Where is
mandatory
his
because
shop?
you don't want them slipping and sliding
Right
and breaking
next to
any
Willie's.
bones.
Okay.
On
And,
the back.
He's my
the
agile one.
building.
Jordan is not.
Okay.
The
Shin
very
Shin
last
guards and
door.
cleats, that's it.
Okay.
And socks to cover
I'll
your
talk to
shin
you
guards,
about it
because you can't be
after
on
the
the
meeting.
field without socks that are high enough.
Oh, really? Didn't know that.
Yep,
Like in the market?
The kids
At
from the
Willie's
school
Market?
No,
they're not allowed.
on, right next door, the
They'll
building
be
next
told, no, you
door.
can't be if you don't
The
have.
brown
socks
building?
on your shin
I
guards.
always
Okay.
bring extra socks,
Okay.
but I get you.
Yep.
So to put a bow on that topic, I think fifth and sixth grade have to be separate.
Okay.
Just looking at some of the fifth graders, the size versus the third graders, like Just this disparity between age there is already too much, but it looks like fifth graders, we're already approaching like a decent number. I think we can wrangle in a few more kids and have a good team.
Tell him I'm putting him on the list to come.
So, we're
how they
not
figure
playing
out if they like
ourselves,
stuff.
we're playing all other teams?
Okay, so let me give an update on that.
TJ update.
I reached out to the following towns. I reached out to, and I just Googled the director, how I found 9 out of 10 of them, and then Sam gave me the other contact. North Berwick, Shapley, Milton, Lebanon, Alfred, Waterboro, Wakefield, Limerick, and Sanford is who I all reached out to. I got a positive response from Shapley to basketball, so this was about all sports. This is just one
they
fell
don't do
swoop
soccer.
asking. Yes to basketball. They said yes to soccer on like if we could have a tournament day. So if we ran a day where we had like a round robin tournament, because they're playing in the Sanford League, and that's kind of like they already paid the dues to do that, and I guess they don't want to go out and just play town by town. They're letting Sanford handle it for simplicity.
Sanford or Waterboro? Shapley's doing Waterboro League, right?
No,
Massabesic.
they said they're doing it through Massabesic, which is through, or is in Sanford. They said they entered a Sanford team.
Massabesic's,
Massabesic's
not Sanford's,
Waterboro. I'm sorry.
Waterboro.
No, but
That's okay.
they followed Chad over to Sanford.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Shapley, so, and then on that note, Shapley said they did a Tiny Tots program, which I think was through Chad.
Yeah.
So, we could ask her how that went. But yeah, the rest of their teams are going through Sanford, is what she said. North Berwick, I haven't heard back from. Milton, I haven't heard back from. Lebanon, I haven't heard back from. And I'm gonna follow up this week with the people who haven't answered back, just in case my email got buried. Alfred has not answered back. Waterboro was a yes for basketball. They don't have enough for a soccer program for all ages, so that was kinda interesting. It's usually they flipped on that. Wakefield, no answer back. Limerick was a yes. Sanford redirected me to SSYA, which is Springfield Sanford Youth Association,
Yeah.
maybe. I'm waiting to hear back from that contact, but it looks like they would throw their lot in with a tournament day. So and then,
Let me know in Lebanon. I might be able to talk to someone that may know who to contact to get an actual answer.
okay, if I can get your email before we leave, I will reply to the email I sent to Lebanon. And
Okay.
forward it to you, and then we can try to coordinate that way. Yeah, so I have a lot of like maybes or people that just haven't answered, so I'm hopeful that we
She's
can
working
rope
on
in
it.
a few more.
I have a window to the world.
The only thing I was not remembering is you mentioning like some sort of homeschool,
Berwick Badgers. that is-
Berwick.
Yep, and
Okay.
I'm gonna send you right now.
and they're basically a yes, a shoo-in?
They're,
for
yes, they're the ones that I originally reached out before we started reaching out to everybody.
Okay,
I'm sending you their name in that, and then what they have for registrations, what ages they have. So you'll have a text message for that.
perfect. So it looks like we have like 4 as yeses, 2 for actual interleague play to go right off the bat, and 2 for like a tournament day, and then we could rope in the other ones that said yes for a tournament day. I don't know
like the
how that
tournament
would
day
go.
is
That would be
fun. I mean, that
awesome.
could be really
Yeah.
exciting for the kids. They're gonna play in a tournament.
Yeah,
And the Berwick Badgers, they're the homeschool group, they are not able to use their rec fields on the weekends.
Okay.
So any games that we do with them on Saturdays would be here.
cool.
If we wanted to travel, we could. It depends on who's coaching and who wants to do it and whatnot. I'll kind of leave that all up to you guys if you guys decide that you want to go for a midweek game someplace.
I feel great that we already have like 4 out of the 11 I reached out to as like really wanting to get involved, and then 2 more on top of that for basketball, and then we have a lot of no answers yet. So if we get to like 7 or 8, like that's a whole season right there.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's
I'll see if I can
and
reach
they
out
must
to
all be in the same boat.
this
These
way,
are,
because I know
you
a lot
small
like me
towns.
didn't go to the
I think
homeschool league because
none of them want to
it's
throw
an
their
hour
lot into
drive.
Sanford. It's too much
So I
money,
can't
and
go to
this is like-
practices.
And it's home. It's their hometown.
And I've posted on the Lebanon page too, because there were some people that were posting looking for
Yeah, I saw that.
soccer and that. And it
I'll
sounds
have
like
Deb post
they're,
it too. I'm friends
Did you
with
reach
Deb.
out to Limerick? Sorry, I probably missed. Did you reach out to Limerick? Because I'm on the Limerick.
They were a yes for
Okay.
soccer. Yeah.
Well, there was a couple parents on the Limerick page. I don't, you're not Facebook.
I'm not on Facebook.
So they were looking for soccer because, but I can
You know who I'm talking about?
get their info and give it to you or whatever.
Sure.
Something was brought up to me from actually a few different people asking, after they saw that, I think you posted, I didn't see the post, but I think you posted that we were reaching out to other towns, they could come play with us. people are asking, if that is gonna be a different fee. Because, so, this is coming from taxpayers to the town of Acton that are saying we're already subsidizing, the town is paying for the rec. So they feel that if people are being, coming from other towns, that, they should be paying something more because we're paying as taxpayers. So I just said I would
Just
bring
to
it up.
use the,
It's
the
just,
field.
I'm gonna say, to me, it's
We might go
more
to their
so
town as well.
just for getting the kids to come out and play. So while, yeah, I mean, if they really want us to, we can bring it up at the selectmen's meeting and we can mention,
It's
you know,
just-
maybe going up $5 or something for the out-of-towners. But the problem is we're not offering the swimming lessons are just for the Acton residents. But for all of the sports, to me, I'd rather see kids come out and get involved. Some kids that live in Sanford might not be able to afford that $120 to go play soccer, and therefore they don't play. So do we tell them, no, you can't play because you don't live in our town and you can't afford the $120, or do we let them come and they're spending their money?
And we've always
Yeah,
allowed
but
people to
maybe
come,
run it by
but
the
we're
Board of Selectmen.
advertising for other people as people's concerns. We're advertising that we're bringing people in, and we've, you know, the town has budgeted 20-something thousand dollars for rec sports.
When you say bring other people in, do you mean just for play days, like Saturday against
No,
each
on
other?
our
Or do you mean
teams.
we're
No.
bringing in
No, on
onto
the
our team?
Onto our
Okay, got it.
teams. Onto
But
our
Lori
teams.
does raise a good point. Maybe we just run that by the Board of Selectmen and make
It's
sure that we
just-
can do
I mean, I've had
that.
5 people approach me on it,
Really?
Right.
so I said I would bring it up to you guys, and
I mean, I assume it's 50-50 that, you know, the
They
the
feel that-
participants are paying $20 and the town is kicking in $20, you know, to make that whole. But I just think run it by the board and see what they suggest.
you know, because we have a budget for soccer, we're paying for balls, we're paying for uniforms, we're paying, you're paying at the end of the
Yeah.
year for.
Yeah.
I
now
misunderstood what
sure.
you're saying. I thought you're like, people had a problem.
No, I'm
with
sorry.
No,
actual,
just-
like,
Yeah.
play
No,
days, like us
people that
playing
are
against
coming
another
in to
town.
play on our teams.
Right.
Okay. So
And ditto, I think for the homeschoolers, let's just make sure that the board is okay with us doing that.
Homeschool is always, as long as they're, I don't know.
she's a Newfield.
Okay. But she's also on the board, and the board always, hasn't had to pay for their own children.
So I'll put that, what I'll do is I'll plan on reaching out so that maybe I can be on the agenda for Wednesday as well. And I'll bring that up. And then if we need to, thoughts on if they decide that, yeah, we should increase it, should we just increase it $5 a kid? So that instead of being $20, it's $25.
They get a drop in the bucket, you know?
Yeah, not a lot, but
Yeah.
something that would.
Well, that,
Yeah, I think just run it, just.
Run it by the-
and then do a cap of 60 instead of 50.
Yeah.
Would that be okay with
60
everybody?
instead of 50 for what?
For
Families.
for the family. So if you
Oh,
have multiple kids or whatnot, you're gonna be
So-
capped out at $60 versus $50 if you're
For
not.
family, yeah.
I'd like to do sponsorships too for soccer because Sanford, there's a lot of people that can't even afford basic stuff and I want them to be able to play, especially Acton. There's a lot of people that can't afford the 20.
Yeah, and banners, we can sell banners,
Yeah.
right? And we can put them around the field
Yeah,
and
I'd
that
rather-
makes it look a
The
little more
town has
professional.
always, so in the past, we would bring it to the selectmen or to the town administrator, and they would approve someone that couldn't afford. So in the past, I'd say, I
Yeah.
know this family can't afford it.
Yeah.
And they would
Approve it.
approve it.
Well,
I
and
don't
we
know
have
if
the
they've never,
neighbors
I don't think
helping
they've taken the
neighbors, too.
funds out of.
Yeah.
Their, Neighbors Helping Neighbors has always been something that Jen has said in the past could support that, or they just write it off, which I think is what
Yeah.
we've done in the past, is just write it off.
So I think there are funds available. for
Yeah,
that.
and even if we get sponsorships, we wouldn't have to take it out.
Exactly, but back to
I mean, I
Kristen's
know like
point,
baseball, when I
that's
played
just a nice
baseball as a
way
kid,
without
each team had a
fundraising.
Yeah.
Asking
Yeah, do
everyone,
sponsoring.
you know, all of
Yeah.
these parents to
It's
kick in
$150
more
to
cash on
Yeah.
other things.
Sponsors
If we
get
just sold
first.
banners.
Yeah, we could do
That's where we're
that.
gonna have to figure out something different. So
Because I know at least
The joy of helping kids.
5 or 6 kids right now.
But they wanted,
They
the
can't do
idea
it.
is to have their name
So
on
the
there.
next question.
Right, but that's like $120.
Yeah.
I mean, that's small potatoes.
Right,
We
so
could
if somebody
probably
sponsors
cover
that and you put your
but-
name on a big banner and put it up on the fence,
You know, $100 a season?
yeah,
Hats.
people will do it.
Next question.
They've talked about bags.
Sponsoring. So baseball, when we did baseball, the sponsorship got the hats. I'd like to do them a little bit different when we do the hats again, but that's for later on. What do we want to do? We're gonna be looking for sponsors for soccer. Do we wanna put maybe on the shirts that they get at the end? Do we wanna put their name on it? Do we wanna do, like, what do we want to do for the sponsorship? So they come in, they sponsor, it's $150 to sponsor. But we end up taking that entire $150 and we spend it on something to give the kids. So do we continue to do that, or do we give them a big banner and announce them? Like, what do?
I like the banner
Yeah.
because
I
I
like the
think
banner.
we have more
Yeah.
options. So we have hats, right? And if 10 people want to sponsor hats, then,
Yeah, the hats
We
were
really
fine for baseball.
can't
'cause
do
we got
that.
them in the beginning
It's
of
not
the
soccer,
season.
but.
right? And it changes annually. So, you know, if Camp Enterprises wants to sponsor this year, but not next year, you just take our banner down. And if,
Yeah.
you know, our finances allow, we put it up the next year. I just think it's more versatile.
Yeah.
And less individualized in terms of
Yeah.
which group gets which hat.
And more cost effective too.
Yeah.
Do we do the banners per season or for a year, or do you just leave them up? That's
I
one
would
thing
do
that's
it for a
always been
year. I would do it.
Talked
I
about.
think a year is
Yeah.
a nice,
Yeah.
you know, it'll be there for all the different
the
sports
whole-
and all the
Yeah.
activities
Yeah.
on the field.
And hang it on that back
Yeah.
splash?
Yeah, and if someone wants to say, you know, I really don't care about baseball, we're still gonna keep it up.
Yeah.
But I think this way,
And they can
it just
sponsor a kid or
opens it up.
You're sponsoring the rec for
Right.
the whole fiscal year.
And we can pitch,
Yeah.
you know, we
And that would be
could
perfect for.
put those funds into, if someone says, I really want it to go towards soccer,
Yeah.
we're small enough that we can do that. Instead of
Yeah.
trying to figure out who's getting which hat, we can put that $150 into the soccer bucket if we wanted to.
Yeah, and you could sponsor a kid that can't afford to.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I like that.
And one banner
September
at
or-
150 would cover
this
your
now
kids.
for
Yeah,
the year.
I like
They
that.
can't
every year.
afford it. So
I like that a
that's
lot. There's a
way.
lot who can't afford it.
Again.
You know, we can get them at Staples, we can get those banners on.
Yeah, and we can make them.
Walmart has them too.
Can you make something that big?
Yeah.
Okay.
They used to have, like, the metal, there were some in the shed, I don't know if they're
Oh,
still
the
down
metal
there. They're like big metal signs that they used to sponsor. And I don't know how much they cost or anything, that was like years and years ago.
Probably be
And they go right
expensive.
on the fence.
So let's see if what we can find, we can
Yeah.
resurrect them.
Yeah,
We-
there-
and we
there-
get the
there were
vinyl.
signs in the shed.
Because the other thing that because the one thing that I kind of deterred a little bit was, so we got $150 for baseball per sponsor to buy hats. But the problem with it is, it didn't actually, it literally was eaten away 100% on the hat. So it doesn't really go in and help the program at all.
Right.
Aside from buying hats.
Yeah.
That's
So-
why the signage, I think, is a
It
much
covered
better
the hat,
idea.
but for baseball, it still covers the hats.
Right.
So I would still do separate sponsors for baseball because we need the hats.
Yeah.
So instead of us purchasing the hats,
That's
it's
a good
covering
point.
the price of the hats. So
That's a
I
good
still
point.
would do, if
Yeah, it's
it's
still a
going to,
bonus.
if they can put their name on something, this is when I've gone out to different companies for sponsorship. If they can put their name on something, they're sponsoring it because they're putting their name out there. So as long as you can put their name on something that the kids are wearing or is placed someplace, then most of the companies are willing to do it. So just give them money? No. I mean, I've had people say that they would sponsor benches, bleachers, you know, you can do any type of fundraiser for a sponsor, you know, like these chairs here. People sponsor these chairs to pay for new chairs.
Right.
We could do anything like that for a sponsor.
Yep.
If, you know, the shed, if we wanted to raise money for the shed, you know, construction companies, maybe they want to put their name on the shed. You know, you come up with a price, $200 to have your name, or a set price. For something like that, it's going to be there forever. So you want, that's more of a hefty price
Yeah.
typically.
Yeah.
Than, you know, your $150 for the season. If it's something that's stationary, it could be a $500 deposit, you know, or something like that, but.
Well, there comes another question. So the hats, which are only one season, are $150. Do we want the same price on a banner that's going to be hung up all year? Or do we want to go up on that?
I think we could probably go up, but we don't want to outprice ourselves. We want a lot of people to participate,
Do we
so.
want to do like 200 maybe?
I would keep it at 150 for that, because you're changing it every single year.
Yes, but they're getting a full year of being up
Right.
there, whereas baseball, you might have those kids that never wear their hat.
Right, but we could still buy the hats with the money that we're raising from the banner, so it all goes into the pool, so it doesn't matter what season it is. I think
Yeah.
we could use some new helmets and some new gloves. I'm sure there are things for soccer that, I mean, are our nets in good shape? I mean, the
Our
ones.
net should be okay. I just got a brand new net that's actually in the shed or in the old gym that I've got to grab and we gotta put up.
That came in.
Yeah, it came in.
Good.
I just haven't brought it to put it up.
That wasn't our fee, correct?
No, it wasn't us.
And we could just take a little bit of that sponsor money and just kind of build our infrastructure a little bit. So get, some new this, some new that for everything that we're doing.
Yeah, and that would be,
And then
okay.
it's not just for one item.
Okay, so we'll do with that. Okay. Swimming program, sign-ups start tomorrow. First lesson is on September 6th. All of the forms are in a manila folder over by the door. 6 months and up are the ages. There's no cutoff. Families can do multiple lessons if they want, as funds are available. We're covering $40. The person has to cover $40 themselves, and it's for residents only.
Can we have these forms on the Sunday of the food drive? So if people are asking for them, we can just have them, realizing that they need to come back.
Yeah.
Or mail in the
I'll-
check, but we can have them available.
That day, remind me, I'll come in that morning.
Okay.
And I'll grab some, and I'll
Okay.
have any sport. I would like to get the basketball forms out too. That way we can have all of it ready to go.
I mean,
So-
because people are gonna be coming in droves, so if we can just be really efficient and have this stuff at our fingertips, that would help.
So if I can we'll have the soccer ones, we'll have basketball, and then I'm hoping we'll have gymnastic ones. And that way people can take their forms with them as well, and then they can bring them back as time.
And has there been any movement with Kim in letting us accept those checks? Not the cash, but the checks?
Not yet. People can mail them. So if somebody wants to sign up their kid and they can't make it in, they can throw it in the mailbox and send it. TJ.
Before we move on from sports, because I don't see it on the rest of the itinerary, I kind of put out there already for standardizing the rule sets for every age group, for every sport, basically. Like, I just noticed when I got here last fall, and that was my first sport, was soccer with the kids. 3rd and 4th grade, I don't think they even knew to like throw the ball over their head in. The refs were kind of like on and off the field. There wasn't even designated refs till James Kittredge signed up to do it. So if possible, I'd like to put out like a standardized rule set and maybe publish it to the Acton website, if that makes sense. And then I could also have them printed out and give them to you before the first practice, and you can hand them out to the coaches.
That would be awesome, because I can put that in every coach's binder. I can put it in, and I can give all of the assistant coaches the rules as well.
So to that end, reached out to Sanford. Zach Lemlin is the director there, who redirected me to SSYA, who's going to be publishing like the soccer rule sets. I think they're the ones in charge of it. So I was going to try to basically mirror it one-to-one with SSYA. I thought that would make the most sense.
Yep.
Because they're kind of the big kahuna town. I know that comes up a lot, but if we're on par with Sanford in their rule sets for soccer, basketball, and baseball, I feel like the rest of the towns wouldn't have too much of an issue following suit. And like 1st and 2nd graders for any sport, like you're aware of the rules, but you're not like hammering it into them. 3rd and 4th grade, you start kind of going over the rules more and more. By 5th and 6th grade, the rules that we hand out should be known to the refs, the coaches, the players. They should all know them pretty well, and it should be like almost followed to a T to that point, because then middle school comes up and it's sink or swim right there. So that was kind of my idea, and how I envisioned it was getting those published, put them on the website, hand them over to you, and then we do that for every sport.
That would be awesome. And if
I like that idea.
you've got to go meet with Jen at one point.
Oh, for the website.
So that you can get onto the website with a username and password. She wants one person to have
So
the
I'm free and
connection with
clear to
it.
do that? That's what
That's you.
Okay.
Because she said we have one person to do it. And I said, that's gonna be TJ,
Yeah.
because he is the computer whiz. So,
The computer whiz, TJ.
I've already given her your name, so you just literally have to go in, tell her that you want to be able to access the website. She'll give you a username and password, and then you'll be able to do that straight from the Acton page.
Should I come up to the next selectmen meeting and basically put out there like, hey, I'm gonna administrate the website to the best of my ability. Can I get from you guys some goals, some ideas of what you want from the website? What do you want that we don't have now, and like put that out there, or is that something we hash out here?
I think that would be more so here
Okay.
than anything. I can bring it up at the meeting as well. I have to come in on Wednesday at this point, so I can talk to them about a few things. If you want to come on Wednesday night, you can.
This Wednesday?
Yeah, I'm gonna put myself on the agenda for this Wednesday.
Okay.
So if you'd like to come on Wednesday to talk to them about that port,
I think I'd like to just ask if they have an opinion about it, like, hey, what's not on the website that you want? And how
right now,
much?
nothing is on it.
Right, we're starting with a clean slate. There's nothing
There's
on
nothing
it.
on it, not even the
So
address.
calendar, upcoming events, goals, a call for
that's like the-
volunteers. I mean, really
Through the
simple,
rec board,
yeah.
not necessarily the.
Well, it's,
select-
Okay, we can discuss it here. I have no preference. I
Or-
don't know who to bring it up to.
well, the fact that I think we're all on the same page with what we think will be on it, it would be nice to get their input as well, because everything has to go through them anyways. So with the calendar, the only thing we need to do is make sure that it's been approved through the board through the selectmen, before we post it on the calendar.
I feel like the calendar would mirror what you put on Facebook a lot too, probably.
But if we have somebody, so say, for example, you, I think Facebook is going to be more of the go-to place, but somebody like you that doesn't go on Facebook, where are you gonna look?
I have burner accounts I can look on.
Oh, okay. I'm hidden in the back.
I can get information from there. I just don't hang out on there, that's all.
Yeah, I think it just makes it easier. I mean, I know Facebook is searchable, but I just think, we're part of the town. We should have a page, and everything we're doing should be there in one place instead of like
So
all
by
over.
next meeting, can we all come with like the dream list of what the website should have, like?
Oh,
And
absolutely.
then I
Taking
can-
payments.
So that's probably
not
the
something
biggest.
that'll be on.
I know.
We're not
That
gonna.
would-
I know.
the
Million
biggest,
reasons
like,
why they
getting
don't
a
wanna
payment
do it.
Oh, I know.
on the
So
back
much
end, the
easier.
shopping
I,
cart,
but I know,
section,
I'm just,
that's-
it's
that
another
starts-
can of worms.
Oh, I know.
But if we can take checks, then
Yeah.
I
we're
think the
Something.
above where we
That
are
would be the
today.
granddaddy
Yeah.
like present on Christmas. That's like the PlayStation 5 that comes out under the tree. Like that's getting payment processing on a website.
Yeah.
Like that costs the most money in upkeep and maintenance.
Oh, yeah, I
So
know.
the biggest
That's
thing,
not something you'd want to do.
I don't mind doing it. It's
No?
just it's money.
the biggest things that I'd like to see on the website that you could start working on now, per se, is having our address listed, having sport forms, so as we get the sport forms in that,
You said address listed, like
we have.
There's a street address.
There's a street, it's like 1706 Route 109, Acton, Maine.
for the town hall.
No,
No, no,
for
no,
the
for the
field.
rec field.
Oh, for the
Nobody-
field, I'm
yeah,
sorry. Okay.
Nobody
You can
knows
type-
what the field.
We need a
You just have to
sign.
type on
Does that come up on
GPS, Acton
GPS?
recreational field.
It's not on the website at all, though.
But does it come up on GPS
Yes.
is what I'm asking?
If you type Acton
I say it hadn't for
recreational
me.
field, you have to type in Acton recreational field,
And
and
it will come up?
it drives you right to
So what I'd
the,
like on our website to have the address,
Okay.
have the sports forms.
Sports forums.
So
okay.
as we release a new form, so if somebody's at home and they want to click on it and print it out, and then they
oh
can
yeah,
mail
and
it
then
in.
make it easier to,
Do we want each sport to have its own shred out, or just one section for sports?
I would just say forms, like have one that's
Yeah, have
forms.
one for all of the forms.
And then all active forms will be that, the
Yeah, just make sure that
files.
we deactivate it when the sport's over, so
Yeah.
that way we can update it with the fresh one for the
And
following.
then just a banner, what's coming up next.
Yeah, calendar.
Something current across the top.
And then would that be its own section for a calendar, like a drop down and you click calendar, or would it be just on the main website and upcoming events and it's like a moving banner?
I like that. I like the moving banner a lot.
However, it looks good.
Yeah. We'll defer
Play
to
with
you
it,
on
play with it,
that.
and then we can all get on and look at it too.
Okay.
Even
And
if we simply had the calendar, I think that would be a huge
I'm gonna
improvement.
say calendars on there,
Of
and then
events,
have
yeah.
a volunteer form.
Are you okay if I switch platforms?
But that could
like
be in the forms section.
The server that it's hosted on, if I could switch to something a little more design friendly?
Whatever Jen lets you do,
Okay.
go for it. This is out of my element.
Doesn't it have to, does it have to be through the town, whatever the town's platform is, I
Yeah.
believe?
Yep.
Yeah.
So if he goes in and he meets with Jen and he can figure out things, then absolutely whatever she'll let you do.
If it's like
Have
an
fun
old
with it.
WordPress platform, I might be like, let's try something else. Like there's a million web server platforms out there, but
I'd have a
They
gallery
use
too.
their own particular.
Oh yeah, have a photo gallery
I'd
too.
have a gallery so people, if they're unsure, they can see like all the pictures from our
Yeah,
fun day
we've got
that
some
we
really
had.
fantastic
We have so many
photos.
amazing fun
Yeah,
pictures
yeah.
that kids are gonna be like, oh, I
Yeah.
wanna
By number
participate.
now.
Yep.
Is it really?
It's gotten
Yeah.
real easy.
And if they can scroll,
Programming or
Yes.
anything like that.
I think that's nice. That's a
Yeah.
really nice touch.
Okay.
It's all handled on their back end.
Next part, Mary Grant pumpkin carving. They're doing it the weekend prior to the trunk or treat. They have actually reached out, Kelly Collins has reached out to us to see if we would be interested in joining them for this. They're looking at, I think right now, she said they're looking at October 23rd from 1 to 4 because it's on a Sunday. And she was hoping that maybe we would be interested in doing a little trail walk. So using the Mary Grant Trail and doing kind of like what we had talked about before anyways.
Heck yeah.
And doing like a little haunted walk for the kids.
Be awesome. It's a lot of,
It'll be during the day, right?
It would
lot
be
of
1 to
prep
4.
work.
Yeah.
So what would our role be? We just go in costume and
No,
buzz around?
we would go in, we could work together and figure out what we want to do, but we would decorate the trail. They would take care of the pumpkin carving and the snacks and everything, and we would kind of help do like trail and maybe a secondary
I
activity
think
or
that would
something.
be really fun.
So it would be us working together with the Mary Grant group. So that is on the agenda, waiting to hear back from them on the confirmation on the date. So that would be October 23rd as of right now, as long as the trunk or treat is the following weekend.
When's the last day of soccer?
Last day of soccer doesn't go till like mid-November.
I have no idea.
Usually
Sorry.
the end of October, right around.
Oh, yeah, so yeah, it would be the end of October, that's right.
So wait,
long as
is
it
the
doesn't
24th a
coincide with,
Saturday
like,
or a Sunday?
The
That's a
last,
Sunday.
Okay, so it wouldn't coordinate.
It wouldn't
mess
coordinate, 'cause
with
that's a Sunday.
Soccer's Saturday, so.
yes.
So that would be a Sunday, so I was almost thinking probably, I don't know what, the 22nd or something would be the last, October 22nd, because then the following weekend is Halloween weekend.
Right.
So October 22nd,
How many days that give you?
TJ, what time will the practices run? 5:30 to what?
6:30, just an hour. I'm usually good with an hour practice. The
Did you
kids sometimes
ever
want to
up
go
and
longer.
Shut the lights?
no, because we were leaving the pole light on because the flag's up.
I don't want to
This
send
was
kids
all the,
home after
all the
7,
other
so
floodlights, not the pole light. That was
6:45
on.
at the latest.
Unless someone shut it off. Someone might have gone in and shut it off. There's another set of lights on the back side of the shed that is that kind of lights up the part of the field. So that's what was
Would've been
on when we
helpful.
drove.
I know, right? That would have been helpful.
That's what I was just gonna say, that for you guys that are coaching.
can't say what I'm doing.
Yeah, on the back side, it lights
Where's the
up.
switch?
It's on the back side of the shed.
The
So
switch?
that's what was on.
The switch is there too?
Yeah.
Inside or outside?
Outside.
Outside.
On
Okay.
the back side of the shed, there's a switch there. So when you guys are doing soccer, you can turn that on and then shut it off. It was on the other night when we drove by.
The snack shed?
The switch is behind the, yes.
Okay.
In between the snack shed and the
cave.
dugout.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a switch there.
Some little kid might have found it.
Yeah, or
Probably
something.
we
some of
are.
the ones that
Or
have
it's been,
out
I
there.
never go by there and we drove by, my husband's like, the lights are on and there's no one there, so.
Lights are
So
on,
they
no
may have
one's
been
home.
on for forever, I don't know. But those are, the pole light for the flagpole stays on, but the other ones
Yeah, I
are,
found that switch
Yeah.
right there.
so, that's all that, so if someone drives by there, maybe go shut it off, cause it's on, well, it was on a couple of weeks, last week, whenever I called you.
Next thing is, the Forest and Conservation Committee has reached out. We briefly hit this last time. They are wanting, there's a property at the end of Jim Driscoll's area on Town Farm Road that they're wanting to go in and do some trail systems. And they wanted us to join in with them in hopes that it would be systems that we would be interested in using in the future as well. Thinking we would be able to do something like snowshoeing, cross-country, stuff like that. It's not going to be as crazy trail systems as what's up on Goat Hill, but they're looking at doing something similar where they'd go out and clear an area so that we could actually have good trailing. They are looking at trying to do a walk of the property one evening. I'm not sure when that walk will be quite yet. They're still trying to plan it so that the town has a heads up about it.
That's where the little gate is to the right of Jim's house.
I think so, yeah. So if anybody, I told them depending on what time it was, I would love to go, but if it's at a certain time, obviously I won't be able to go because I'll be sitting on a bus. So if that's the case, if somebody else would be willing to go, multiple
I
people want to
can go,
go.
it doesn't matter.
I'll go.
Yeah, that would be
Say
fun.
whoever would like to go,
Love to go.
the more eyes that would be out there, the better. I can keep you posted as soon as they get back to me.
We can even do cross-country.
Well, that's what I was, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would love, I mean, there's so many things that we'd love to do. Okay, Christmas tree lighting. So Santa, we have James doing it. Haven't heard back to see if his wife was doing it yet. He will be here December 3rd over at the fire station at 4:45, so that he's here for 5. What events would we like to have at the Christmas tree lighting? What has worked in the past?
So why don't I just give you a rundown of how it always was prior to COVID? Because COVID, we had to do things a little bit different. Prior to COVID, the fire department's always involved. We have to reach out to them to, last year we had to send them an email, the chief an email to see if they would do it. I don't know if that's a protocol now with the new chief, but they decorate the trailer, they bring Santa over. We have we tried out there, that proved no good, because the morning of the Christmas tree lighting, when we tried out there, the Christmas tree was broken in half. So we had to come back up here. So we do have a pole right up here. This is where the tree is. Kim Stacy has always donated the tree in the past. So you want to probably reach out to her.
Where is she at?
Wait, is it inside? The tree lighting is inside?
The tree lighting is right outside.
Oh, right
the tree
outside
is right
here. Yeah,
outside
okay,
here.
okay.
It's a real big tree. So we do have brand new lights from last year that we purchased.
Do you have a contact for Kim?
Kim
Stacy?
Is it? It's our selectman. Kim,
Oh, that's Kim?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize her last
Did I give you
name.
the right last name? Sorry. Yeah. So, yeah, she has a tree farm at her house.
Okay.
So she's always donated the tree. She usually brings the tree up about the week before. In the past, we had a man from Sanford that would come up and put the lights up. Last year, he was away, so we used the electrician last year. The other man used to donate his time. I don't have his name. I can reach out to him and see if he can do it. The problem is he goes away right around that time. The electrician, we had to pay, and it was like
I can see if I can,
$175 or something.
I can see if I can sucker Christ.
So if anyone knows someone with
Dave
a
can
boom
help.
truck, that's what you really need, that'd be great, or someone that you guys just know. So we get the lights up, and Santa comes up, and someone stands there, and he usually comes up to the tree and says something like, we're here for a tree lighting, and at that time, he says to light the tree. Someone stands there and, plugs it in. And then, they used to do in here, they've had a band in here one time. It got so big that they couldn't use just this hall. So when we took it over, what they were doing was cookie decorating. A lady donated the cookies, and we bought the toppings and whatnot. And they had a station for cookie decoration, and then a station for some sort of an ornament. So kids decorate the ornament in this, and in the year that we took it over, we did the church also, because it got too big, so the town said we couldn't have that many people in here. That was actually before we did it. And we did the church, we did a potluck dinner, and they had a beautiful tree set up. So we actually went inside and did the pictures with Santa inside. Amanda Warwick has been doing pictures for free for years. She is interested in coming back and doing it. What she does is she sets up, she takes the pictures, and then last year she just sent the pictures over to CBS, and we picked the pictures up at CBS and then brought them up to the town hall to have them, people pick them up at their leisure. So we gave them a date. So that's how it's been. We've had a movie going. They've had a movie going in the church. A potluck. They've done a potluck. They've done just cookies and hot chocolate. Last year outside, we just did snacks, hot chocolate, because we couldn't be inside. And we've decorated all in here with what we had. I've blown up you know, the big blow-up things and decorate it outside in between the two places. Last year, we had Terry Minahan did some caroling, and she set up a big screen outside for a movie to be playing. It was real short last year, but in the past, what they've done, they always did the cookie decoration and did the decorations in here, and then once they started to use them at the church, whatever you want to do for food. I mean, we don't have to do food. You can do food. And one time, I think they did a spaghetti dinner and just served spaghetti and salad. I think the church did it that time, you know, the food, but combined. It's been the same. When we took it over, we were asked to keep it the same, similar, not, you know, 100% the same, but on that, you know, where people know what they're coming to, that they're, you know, the kids are gonna be able to decorate and, yeah. And it was started for a family that lost their son, and I don't know which family it was, and I'd like to get the history of it, just so we knew that. Because it does have a lot of meaning to a lot of people, that it's been the same over years, so.
I'd like to get the history and maybe post about the history on our
Yeah,
Facebook group.
that's what
That
I
way
wanted
it kind of
last
brings
year,
it-
and then I got sidetracked. Once I found that out last year, I got sidetracked and never followed through with it.
So is this the same event that you would have, like the gift table?
So the gift table was at the school.
Okay.
Not, that was through the PTG
Totally
or
separate,
through
that's
the school.
fine.
That was totally separate.
Okay.
That was something the school did every year.
Just didn't want to lose that piece of it, because I thought that was a great idea.
I think that that would be something cool to add so that people can drop off
Here.
donations. Yeah. We can have maybe a box or something set at the town hall as long as the selectmen and that are okay with it. And then we can have, people can bring in for like the month prior, some donation items.
And then
we
they can all
have
be
that-
shipped to the school, or do it here?
No, do it here.
Okay.
So the
At
night
the
that we're
Christmas
doing.
tree lighting?
Yeah, at the Christmas tree lighting. That way we can have a table set up with all of the stuff, and it's like 50 cents or $1 or whatever for
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
That way the kids feel like they're actually coming in and buying something for their parents.
And if they can't have, they don't have money, we can give it to them, right?
We'll figure it out, yeah.
Okay. Lori, do you remember, because when I came with Russell long time ago to the tree lighting, they had these gingerbread houses. It was like made out of stickers and they decorated. And do you know who did the story? Somebody read a story? Maybe we can do that? I don't know.
Remember
that?
I didn't go to every one of them.
Oh, okay. So somebody sat in like a big chair and was reading like a story to the kids, and that was really good.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good
I don't know
idea.
who it was, but I remember.
So if we used the church, one
I
year
remember
that
that.
I just came, wasn't a part of it, they had a movie
Yeah.
in one of the rooms. I'd have to one of us would have to reach out to the church and find out if we could use it.
I remember that.
And they donated it to us.
They-
When we used it, we could only use the hall,
Mm-hmm.
and then the main hall and the actual church itself. That's where the Christmas tree was. It was beautiful. Set. I think it was the pictures I sent you.
Oh, yeah.
It was set up really nice, and it was already set up. It was great, because we don't have a tree. That was one thing I wanted to do, was purchase a tree, so we could have one in here.
Could we see the church next week when we're doing the food drive?
So,
Yeah, that might be, who's gonna be here for the food
Who's meeting
drive?
us for the food drive?
For the
somebody,
church, I mean.
Somebody.
somebody from the food pantry.
I just called the church, and I think her name's Amanda.
Yeah, I have her email.
So
I
I
have
would just
a, I have a
ask.
contact for the
have-
church.
Yeah. When I went though,
Friends from school, her mom goes, and she had a
Yeah.
birthday party there, and they were playing a movie in there, so I can
Yeah.
just reach out to her.
I
Yes.
told
Can
Sam
you-
I have a projector. I have
Well,
a projector
they
and the
add that to your
screen,
list.
They
so.
had one, they did have one there that we used, and Terry used, I don't know if Terry's still a part of the church, but Terry Minahan used to, she had the keys and everything, I think, to the church at one point, but, she had a movie going when we did the inside with Santa, there was a movie
Even
going.
if we
right
had like
there.
one for the movie and one we could have going with, for Christmas carols, and have the have the video playing off the computer with all the words for the karaoke
that's
singing.
karaoke.
That would be cool, like a karaoke.
You know, maybe with the kids that don't know the words,
I
they'll
like
see it on the screen.
So what am I,
Yeah, you could do, problem is it's like separated, unfortunately, it got too big, so it has to be in two separate places, and it's too cold to do too much outside.
I remember they did, games outside, like a tree ring toss, and I remember the movie was playing and there was nobody in there though, but it was just a couple kids.
Well, just, somewhere to go,
Yeah.
go warm up a bit.
Warm up, yeah, because you can't do it in here, just in here, right, because it's too big.
Too many people.
Yeah.
So Sam, what am I asking her? Can we use it for post-tree lighting ceremony shenanigans,
Yeah.
basically?
Basically.
On the
Ask if we can use December 3rd. We were doing our tree lighting,
December 3rd, okay.
if we can use in
didn't-
there and what the limitations are. and
I
what
didn't
they're
hear
allowed.
I didn't hear the idea, so if I missed it, I apologize, but gift wrapping table.
Yeah,
Oh,
we can
yeah.
have a gift wrapping station.
That's a good one, okay.
I might go on base.
Yep.
During all of December, they have gift wrapping and people just flock toward it.
Can we get, high school volunteers to
Yes.
help?
That would be nice.
Because we're gonna need a lot of help, we're gonna do all this.
And we have a budget for this, right? So we can come up with some stations, we can do cookie decorating, we could do,
You got
I like your
Jordan.
idea about the gingerbread
Yeah,
house,
for
but
her
why don't we get
business.
a couple of those
Yep.
She
kits?
could do,
Yeah,
she
Right,
could do
and
bookmark
no one's gonna
designing
sit there and
with
do the
people
whole
and make
thing, but
No.
some group will come and do
Yeah.
some, you know,
Decorate a
different
couple
spice drops on it. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
And the
Laminate
little-
it and-
I do
I
it.
think you're talking about the little paper ones.
She
that
did
were
the
a little
paper one,
cheap.
she's talking about the.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about,
That would
the
be fun.
Yeah.
pick up in the grocery
We
store.
could get. We could
Gingerbread
get, like,
houses.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
the prefab ones.
Yeah.
You know, you just
Yeah.
That would be a lot.
And the
of
kids could just glue,
Yeah, we can actually
Shutters
get
on.
like like we don't have to buy we can buy like the individual ingredients too if it's cheaper maybe, or we can do like, like the kit
You
or.
know what they could do instead of, the
Marshmallows
cookies?
and
I don't know the
toothpicks.
woman, because
Somebody
we did, the first year that the rec took it over, there was the lady that used to do it, she contacted most of the people.
Yeah.
So I don't know who the lady was that donated all the cookies, she'd donate like 150 cookies,
Wow.
but my children's family, they do gingerbread house, they do a party every year, and they use the little pieces of, graham crackers and puts those together. You could do that instead of cookies, and people could come and make their own little gingerbread house too.
Yeah,
Be a cheaper way to do it.
cool. I'll do that.
But.
We can assemble our own
so,
gingerbread
yeah,
houses
so we
up.
just have tables set up here for,
That takes some skill that I do not possess. Others
Icing in the
do.
piping bag. Lori gets to do something. Make her assemble them all.
But even
Assemble.
Dollar Tree has the clear ornaments and stuff,
Yes, they
so
have.
you could fill it with whatever. That's what we do every year. Is we go and get the little
Get the
wooden
glitter and
stuff, and
get-
you have painting, and where you can fill it all.
so
and
we need some sort of an ornament
Yeah.
that they can put together.
Yeah.
Or we did like little wooden ones and had markers and.
And lots of
glitter
little
and
pieces of
gold
ribbon.
Stuff that, yeah, and those were set up in a few different tables so kids could go that, and then this was, the, cookies were set up, and that's how they've done it for years, and like way back, they had a couple of sections, and then they
Yeah.
had like someone playing, music, I think, Lau, is that his name? His group, you know who I'm talking about? He used to be the rec director a few years ago. They homeschool, Deb and, you know,
Oh, she's the library. She's on the library board. Is that what you're talking about?
she might be.
Yeah,
She used to be on
she's-
PTG, but
Yeah,
her
she's
kids
the
have
vice.
aged out.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So their family,
She homeschooled. Yeah.
homeschool, yeah.
Yeah, I know
And
who
they
you're
used
talking
to-
about.
But if
Deb,
anyone like want to do like live music.
I can't remember her name.
They've done that in the past, but.
she told him my
What? Yeah, that,
Yes. Yeah. She's on the library board. She's the vice president.
Okay.
One that like.
And I told her my daughter owns her own bookmark making business, so she said she'd donate her time with making Christmassy bookmarks with kids.
Oh, that would be nice.
Oh,
So we can have a
So
little table set
laminate
up.
them and everything, right on the spot.
can
is there anything that you could, do instead of a bookmark, actually a Christmas, some sort of an ornament?
I'm sure we could. We have the laminator, so I mean, we could cut out
do some-
circles that people,
Oh,
they
yeah,
can
just cut
decorate.
out-
That's
Yeah, cut out
we
a
could
ton
do
of
that,
circles.
yeah.
So we
That
did
would be good for ornaments.
Yeah.
And we did
Snowman.
this,
Yeah.
couple of years ago, we
can
did
cut out
a
like
a-
wooden
incorporate all
ornament
that.
that they decorated, and then I had little Santa Claus, just cut out paper ones, on like the hard cardboard that kids could, color also, and it was the ones that you could put their picture in. So they.
And we'll get thicker paper for
Oh,
that.
they
so
took them
we-
home and people loved those. I couldn't believe it, but we did, just snowmen then. You could do something like that, very simple too.
We can,
Yeah.
we can take
So
with
what
the
do we
Cricut.
need,
and-
markers, Sharpies?
With the,
There might still be some,
with the Cricut, we can
they're
just
any
take
good. I
the
have a
cardboard
whole bunch of
stock
stuff.
and we can cut out whatever shapes we want. So we
Make
can,
the template and
we'll
they
make the
can color it
templates and then
in.
the kids can color in whatever they want.
Yeah.
So when we go over to,
Okay? So we'll
look
cut it
at
out
what
for
we
you.
have,
Get cardstock.
we we put in a decent budget for this year to cover in case we had to pay someone to do, the lights.
Yeah.
And also to buy some, new stuff. We bought, I think we put $600 or something like that into the Christmas tree lighting. So last year we spent like $100.
Yeah.
But this, we would like to, now that we're going back inside, would like to be able to purchase some decorations and stuff, because everything that's there is pretty old, other than the lights. So that was why that budget was up there this year.
Perfect. Okay. So then we'll see what we can get donated to
Yeah.
before we purchase anything.
So are you okay with Amanda? Amanda's?
Yes. Do you want to reach out to her?
I talked to her last week and
Oh,
she's
perfect.
interested in doing it again, yeah.
Do we want to
She knows the
ask
date.
Terry again, or did you want to do it, John? I don't remember you saying you wanted to do his karaoke, or no? I remember you saying that in the beginning. The music.
Are you?
Well, it all depends on,
Or I can
John
get,
has a long list of Christmas music,
I do have
so.
a-
yeah, that's what
getting
he
it,
was saying.
You know, transferred here from your phone and
Yeah, I
good
didn't,
working
I mean,
order is.
I can always put it on a stick if we have something that I can play off of.
because I remember they did like a contest. It was fun, because she grouped them by grades, and they were singing a song, and then we were like, and we gave like little prizes out, whatever, for the ring toss and stuff, like, and the kids loved it,
Just
Still have the
got,
prize bin.
We have the prize bin.
just got, a Bose portable,
Yeah.
sound dock that is also wireless. So
Oh.
I don't have to have electricity for it.
Oh,
I
nice.
got
If
two
it's
turtle
got-
boxes too, I use for field day, those.
If it, yeah,
can-
Yes, those are awesome.
Yeah.
if it's got a USB in it, which it may.
Yeah.
I can always load up a stick
That'd be cool.
with a bunch of carols, and if you want it in here, if you want it out there,
that'd
it
be
can
cool.
just, it plays for 12 hours.
Yeah.
Without a
Who has a
charge.
good singing voice? TJ,
I
let's
can do
hear.
that.
No.
No.
Terry may be interested,
Shower.
she's been helping for years.
Yeah, she might.
On and off, so Jordan interested in.
And we
And
want
help singing.
to, we want to loop them in too. I mean,
Yeah.
their help is, and their history is good for us to
Yeah.
know.
Terry, came up, I asked her last year to come up and, like, she kind of was like master of ceremony. She came in
Yeah.
and, started singing Here Comes Santa Claus with the kids.
Yeah.
And I did a couple of carols, before Santa came over and got the kids.
Oh, yeah, I remember that conversation we had with her, yeah.
We could hand out the lyrics to Here
Yeah.
Comes Santa
That'd
Claus,
be
so when he's
fun,
coming
too.
and we don't need any,
We can use,
hookup
I wonder if we can use that
outside.
projector.
Ah,
No, we didn't have any, she might have had a hookup last year. I
I was like, if we
can't
could
remember.
use that projector, if that's
has the
available.
whole thing.
And just do it right here so that the words are right there.
Yeah, but it would be cute as Santa's coming.
Yeah, that's
if
what
we
she-
could
yeah.
be singing,
Here comes
you know,
Santa Claus.
as he's coming, down the street.
Yeah, that's what they've always done is.
Okay, So, so
And
we'll,
then light the tree afterwards, because one year someone lit the tree before Santa came.
no, you can't do that.
that's awful.
Okay, so to keep things,
So lots of ideas.
So, and then the question is do we want to just keep it simple and not do food and just do cookies or some kind of dessert? or
Hot
do we wanna
chocolate and
do-
cookies, I think.
Do we want
I
to
think
do
hot chocolate and cookies.
a spaghetti
Yeah, I don't
dinner
think-
or
I don't
anything
think-
like that?
Anything.
Popcorn.
We did a potluck and a couple of people brought stuff, but I made like 4 big, huge meals and.
Yeah.
No, did anyone?
That's just-
Oh yeah, people love the potluck. I mean, people have always loved the potluck.
But then we'd
For
have to.
years, they did a potluck even in here.
why don't we look,
But I know they did spaghetti dinner that the church actually put on. I mean, we could do something like that. We have the money in the budget
Yeah.
that we budgeted so we could do an actual meal, if we're willing to do that. I don't,
here's a question, would you guys be opposed, so Santa comes at 5. Would you be opposed at starting this at like 3 so that we can do some of this stuff and that, and then when Santa comes, people can start cycling out when he's here. Just because the later you get, so thinking of the little kids.
Lose the little ones.
The little ones, that's the reason I have never come.
Yeah, it's too late.
Because it's too late. So
Run at
with,
3 to 6.
well, I was almost thinking like maybe 3 to 7 or something, because then it will give, you can
7,
come in earlier. People can, if we're gonna do a dinner or something, they can eat
Right, but
at
it's,
4.
I think the magic happens after dark. Now,
Yeah.
but.
No, you're not
is
gonna
it-
light the tree in that, but you can come in and do your decorating and, because the problem is the little kids.
Yeah, but if we started
Is it too much
at
to ask
4,
little kids to be that attentive for that long?
if we
Don't do
waited,
food, then that's a long
And then they're
stretch
not,
too.
and they're doing the other things while people are taking pictures with Santa and
They're
stuff.
gonna be burned
so-
out by the time Santa
It's not a
gets
long thing, it's probably,
But I
mean,
think
most
it's
people
just-
are here for an hour
but I think
to an
it's
hour
doing
and a
the
half at
schedule.
most.
So
Yeah.
everyone's outside and Santa
4 to
comes.
7?
This is just the way my little brain works, and it's not right or wrong. But so everyone's outside singing happy faces, Santa's coming in. We do the tree, or we do crafts first and then
That's what I
the
was
tree.
thinking.
Yeah, and
That's what I was thinking, if they come in and they can do,
But
because.
I think if you started too early, you're gonna
Let's
lose.
do 4.
Well, no, because,
But
so,
you're losing
so
the
with,
magic of the
with-
tree lighting, that's what it is.
well, no,
It's
you're not
tree
gonna lose the
lighting.
magic, because they're gonna be doing this, and then they're gonna go out and they're going to see him. So the thing that I'm thinking
Can they
in my
hang
head.
their ornament on the tree as kind of an enticement to keep it together and stay 5 minutes longer so they can have their, just along the
Well, if
lower
we do it at
branches?
4, it's only
Go an
45
hour
minutes
earlier
early,
than
so
Right.
that's, by the time everyone's done making stuff and then filtering, getting hot cocoa in their
'Cause
cookies,
you're
and
gonna-
Santa's walking in.
You'll have some people,
Four's good.
if we do like 4, if you'll have some people that'll probably come earlier at like the 4 or something to be able to do some of the activities and then see Santa and then leave. And then you're gonna have the other people that'll come a little bit
Tree
later.
lighting and then come
While
in.
Santa's here and then do the stuff after.
Right,
So
so,
it'll cycle it, so instead of having so many people at once.
no, I get it. So in the perfect world, and I'm looking at you two in particular because you're with the littlest kids, what time makes sense for you?
They go to bed at 7 o'clock on a school night.
Yeah.
All right. So what time do they lose it?
Hers
Well,
is
that's what
6.
I'm asking. So we have 4 to 6 or we have 3 to 6. We have a window.
I would almost say like do like, in my mind, I would say like do 4 to 7. Because then you're gonna get,
The
or 4 to
younger
6:30 or
crowd-
something,
the
you'll get the
younger
younger
crowd.
crowd.
Oh,
And
and
then
the
the
older
older
crowd. I think if we can, because again, I think everything looks bigger and better and more magical at night, right? The lights
Yes.
are there,
Yeah.
they can see Santa, and then we still have time to do this, and I think we can do a compromise, Lori. I'm not saying let's not do potluck or not do a spaghetti dinner, but let's have like little kid food so that they can have a bite and no one's starving
Yeah.
and having meltdowns when they're here, and we can do like
Yeah.
quick batches of mac and cheese or something, just,
Yes.
little bites of something.
We can get like a crock pot mac and cheese.
Just thinking out loud, right? And then we hold them,
And like
they're not hungry.
Uncrustables or something.
Anything.
Uncrustables, kids love.
The only problem with
Uncrustables.
doing the Uncrustables is once
Is
they're
the
thawed,
peanut
they have to
butter.
get eaten, so then you can have a lot get wasted.
I'll take them all.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
if we
think
do
that's
4
an
to 7,
expensive
it would
option, but
definitely
I-
Or
get
something,
Sandy
something
appeal.
like
We
that.
can make homemade peanut butter and jelly
Yeah.
stuff and
Because they
just
will
cut them
lose
in.
interest.
Right, so just something
Yeah.
to hold their attention. They can have a snack that isn't like a sugar
Yeah.
cookie, so now we don't want them
Yes.
bouncing off the
Yeah.
walls. We want to give them some nourishment
Yeah.
to get them.
Especially if we're gonna start at 4.
Exactly, to get them until 5 so they
Yeah.
can see the tree.
Yeah, I think we
After
should do that. Because especially if we're gonna do like the shopping and like the decorating, 4 is good. Because like you said, we have littles and they're just
And
gonna
it's just
crash.
move on.
They're gonna crash.
Move
So
on,
if they,
keep them moving.
if they come in and they're able
Yeah.
to wrap around and then they're able to go out the door because it keeps them busy, they're able to go out the door
But
and
if-
they see the excitement in their eyes glow as
Yes.
Santa's coming
Yeah,
up.
that's-
And then they can go over, they can meet him, they can do the tree lighting and then they can get their pictures and then we can go home.
Yeah.
Well, not me, but Daddy can go
But
home with the kids.
everyone,
Right.
but the
Yeah.
kids can go.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
they've had some fun.
So
It was
for-
an event. They've
Yeah.
got something to bring home. They've got, a cookie to bring home.
And then the
They've
older kids
hung
can stay.
something
The
here
older
or
kids
home.
can come later
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
they can cycle
like
through.
that.
And
it will,
it's dark at 4, or it's dark enough at
It's
4.
dark enough
We
at
have
4.
both
Well, not
spots,
this year.
it gives time for people to hit both
Yeah.
Oh,
spots.
no time
No
change.
time change.
huh?
It's not gonna get
No
dark
daylight
until
savings
like
this
5:30.
Why? What?
They canceled it.
They canceled
Guys
it.
They've
didn't
abolished
hear-
it.
they-
It's
they-
like
Biden and
old,
Yeah, this
administration
was
signed
World
away
War
daylight
One.
savings.
How do you get rid of daylight savings?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, moving on.
It's not on our list.
Don't keep keeping.
We're
daylight.
keeping daylight savings.
I like
Okay, we gotta move on besides just the tree
Yeah.
lighting now, though.
But I think we got a good
So
start.
we've got a good start on it. We know exactly kind of where we're going with it. We'll work on getting.
Oh, yeah, we've got some really good ideas.
Crystal's gonna work on getting a bunch of things donated.
Boom.
I will work on cutting out a bunch of cardstock ornaments. That way we can have a stockpile. I'll just start setting my Cricut to cut away. I'll do various colors so that kids can do whatever colors they
They
want.
have a
can do white.
template, yeah.
And I'll do like, whether it's the Christmas ornament, I might even take my pen and draw the designs on it so that they can color them in. I've got no problem with doing stuff like that. The next thing that I want to talk about, September 17th is supposed to be our nutrition class. I have not heard back from the person that I had messaged about seeing if we could do it there, so I'm probably going to see if we can either do it here or do it at the school cafeteria. Because I just gotta make sure that the cafeteria will be available that day, where we're not using the gym, and it's also during soccer season, we should have more of a chance to be able to use it, so I just gotta meet with Mr. Ross. The way that she's doing it with the breakdown of the schedule is, it's probably gonna cost us about $50 for getting all of the ingredients, unless we can get the ingredients donated as well. But the way she wants to do it is 9 to 10 a.m. would be the adult 18 plus. She wants to do a mobile grocery store tour. A total of 25 participants is what she would like to have at that. And we would like to have people register for it prior to, so that we know who's coming. And it's just that one that we would like them to register for, so we can have them register for all of them, but that's the primary one. 10:15 to 10:45, she'd like to focus on the nutrition needs of 7th through 12th grade. 11 to 11:30 is 4 through 6, and 11:45 through 12:15 would be like our pre-K littles to 3rd grade. Do we want any additional activity to help draw them there that day? So they're coming in for a nutritional thing. We're gonna have the smoothie bike.
Yep.
Would we like anything else that we can kind of offer for them to do besides having a couple snacks, like some popcorn and stuff like that?
Like food related or just generally speaking?
Generally speaking, some sort of activity for them to do to help draw them to come to a nutritional class. Whether it's.
Rent a bouncy house?
I got one I can rent you.
Insurance.
Well, like kind of playing with your food. There are some really cute things that Crystal circulates sometimes. You're making like hot rods out of Twinkies. I mean, that's not a good example.
That's cool,
but,
actually.
but, you know, and Oreos, you know, just little things playing. So if we could find something with, I don't know, cucumbers and watermelon seeds, I don't know.
Well, I mean, you can take like
They can make their
celery
own
with filled with
kebabs.
peanut butter and put and it's like ants on a
Oh,
log.
yeah, the raisins.
Yeah, raisins. Ants on a log, I think.
I
it's
think
called
we
or
can
something.
come up with some cute ideas.
And we can make some of these things, or we can give everybody like a little tray or something and they can make their own.
I think make their own. I think that's,
Okay.
learn to play with your food, learn to put things
Yeah,
together.
you get small little plastic cups, and if it's like making something for it to stick, just each person get their own. So you're not having a bunch of hands sticking into something. You're just scooping out a little bit for them to have to make their stuff.
Next question. That is a Saturday, same day that we have soccer games.
Whoops.
We didn't think about that when we talked with her.
Have we advertised it?
Not yet.
Do we want to wait and do it after?
I can ask if they can do a Sunday instead.
Where are they hosting it?
We'll probably try to do it over at the school or something.
Just do it at the field?
They need,
No, it's,
you want to do it inside and it's food
Not
because
gonna
it's going to
work.
be like a,
Got it.
and a place to sit. That's just,
Yeah.
that's not going to work.
let me reach out to her and see if we can change the date. If we cannot change the date, between having the snack shack open and needing something with this, are you available that day still? Which location would you rather be at?
I don't care. No, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just,
I can have
but
Dave bring Connor to the game, so
right,
I
but
can
the
be.
kids that we're looking to draw are going to be at the field.
Yeah,
So I think it isn't what
I
our
would-
availability is. It's, you know, what are the kids,
Yeah, 'cause
you know,
then
if it's
people will be
Saturday,
tied up
all
at
of
the
the,
field.
are all of the kids playing on Saturday?
I'll send her an email today and I'll let you guys all know what she says.
Unless we have a tournament weekend. We might do Saturday, Sunday for
Right,
one
so I
tournament
just-
weekend, but yeah, it's usually Saturday.
We don't want to compete with
No,
ourselves.
let me reach out to her and see. And that's kind of the other reason why on the 24th, I'm thinking that we might change the mom's pickup to the fields.
Oh.
Right, because people.
Yeah, people are already there. I think that's
Good idea.
wise.
Smart
We can
idea.
also, we don't need to complicate things. Going back to the nutrition, we had a backup date of the 10th, and we're not doing the car show. Can we fall back on the same thing? It's the same Saturday, never mind.
Well,
It's a Saturday.
It's a
Well,
Saturday. It
on
doesn't-
that Saturday, we won't be doing games yet, right?
The
Or
10th?
no, that might be the first game,
September 10th?
because that'll be the second.
That will probably be the first game. I would
Yeah,
imagine.
all right.
Yeah, because we're gonna start, so the third, next week is the first, not this coming week, but the week after will be the first. So the third, we won't have a game because that's the first full week, and then the 10th will be the second full week.
Everyone
of
will be gone
practice.
on the 3rd of
Right.
Labor
So let's
Day,
do
so that wouldn't be a
something-
good.
Let me
see
that
if I
wouldn't
can
be a
change
good
it to a
If
idea.
Sunday.
Nicole can do it, if she can change it to Sunday, that's great. I think that's asking
That's
a lot of the
ideal.
board members, but I'm free, so it doesn't really matter.
Doing it in
But if we do
beginning
it
of November,
like in November,
October.
then kids can maybe we can teach them how to build something fun, and they can do that at Thanksgiving.
Remember, then we come down to, they had until the 30th. Remember?
Right, there's a budget issue, but I don't
Yes.
remember what that was. We wanted, there was
It's
a
the end of
reason
the
for doing
program.
it.
End of the program.
What if, yeah, like,
Fiscal
what
year.
if we did it in October?
Well, it's, so, no, September 30th is the end of the fiscal year for them, and it's also the end of when they have this program available.
Okay.
So she doesn't know if they were getting it renewed or not.
She would do it, but it might cost us. The beauty of doing it in
Gotcha.
September was we're under the current budget.
We don't know, because we didn't have to ask that at that point. So I will talk to her to see if we can change it to a Sunday, and if we have to,
during the week, I mean, a weeknight.
Then you won't get the kids as much
Yeah.
because school.
yeah,
and
school and sports, and I wouldn't do.
Early
Do it on Sunday,
bedtimes.
the
Well, that's why I'm gonna have to stay.
Oh, I know it was a couple $100, because the
September?
library did it.
So I have a thought, it's not necessarily an activity, but information to have there would be, kind of with nutrition, would be giving them maybe sheets that have things to do that are not related to screens. Because I know that's a big issue with kids nowadays, not only of them eating right, but also not having as much screen time.
Well, that's kind of us with the sports program
what
and these
we're-
other
Well,
activities.
no, I just meant like information, like they're gonna be learning about nutrition, but you know, here's a little pamphlet of information with ideas for kids to do that's without screen time.
Yeah. We'll have to, so I'll reach out to her and I'll find out, because there's 2 nutritionalists that are working with us on this one. So she did rope somebody else in.
Okay.
And they're both messaging, so I'll message them today and see if we can change it to a Sunday. And then continuing on, sorry, sports events that we have that I need to bring up to the board, wrestling. Were you wanting, if the board approves, are you wanting to wait more until probably next year at this point, or when would you be looking to start?
Do we have a start date for basketball?
Nope, that's my next question. I think basketball is usually November through
Either end
mid-February.
of November or December. We don't want to start in January again. That wasn't ideal
No,
for basketball.
I think it was mid,
Too late.
like beginning of
I mean,
November. and it went to the
NBA
end-
starts in
middle of
October.
February.
Most kid leagues start in November, December. Since growing up on the East Coast, I've never gone later than November for basketball usually. Because it's right at the end of football. And
And
then
it goes until a week of February
and
vacation.
basketball bleeds right into spring soccer or spring baseball. I guess we kind of flip those here, but it's West Coast, East Coast thing.
So when would you do wrestling? If you had the choice.
I guess I gotta figure out what our goals are for wrestling too. The kids that I am having wrestle and teach, I want to volunteer with at least 1 or 2 high school Sanford wrestlers if I can rope them in. That'll be like kind of the lock and key for this success.
I mean, you can probably even get like a Connor, for example, where he's been doing it as well. He's only 6th grade, but at least he'll have some of the.
I wanna grab a high school
One high school,
wrestler.
okay.
And have them help run practice, and if the kids' goals are to get into individual tourneys, because they do that all wrestling season, sometimes it's pay to play, sometimes
Most
it's,
are, yeah.
yeah.
We have to pay.
Actually, most of them are
I would say
probably.
we
I
have
was
to
gonna
pay for
say
every
around here.
tournament, because we go through Master BC Youth Wrestling Club.
What
So,
would be your
if-
idea?
If the goal is to have these kids not only learn wrestling and the basics, but also enter a few tournaments, my goal would be to work with a few Sanford High School wrestlers, get an idea of the tourneys that are offered around here for youth, and then I like 4 or 5 tourneys as tournaments as our goal, and I'll be like, have like 3 or 4 weeks of practice and we're getting ready for these tournaments, do the tournaments and done. So that happens during winter, which is the same time as basketball, so it gets a little dicey.
So usually, like, I think we'll be starting either the last week of November, first week of December, and tournaments usually start about January. Because it gives us about a month to crunch in as much practices, because they do like 2 to 3 days a week that they go practice.
And you said it's through January?
Here's my gut feel.
Tournaments start January, but usually then we're in tournaments and practices straight through until March, April.
Here's my gut feel. I think we're crunching in a lot, and it's good. We're got a lot of ideas on the board, but
I don't think we have enough eyes out and all of it.
It would be too soon to get an actual end of November through January wrestling program down. We only have the one mat. That's a center mat. It's a great mat, but we need another mat or two if we're gonna have a practice on it. It's not big enough for a whole, even 5 or 6 kids. That center mat is literally what 2 kids would wrestle on, and that's the entire, they use the entire mat in the boundary, so.
What this can give us, though, is just getting this information can give it, because we have to start looking at the budget for next year.
Yep.
So I can take this and I can put this on the calendar for next year.
Yep, so.
Not for this year,
Yeah.
but for next year.
Perfect. So
and we
next-
can figure out budget-wise and whatnot.
Give us from now till then to plan.
I'd like to tack down dates and then specific tournaments I want to do, and then I'm going to visit the Sanford High School wrestling team and just sit in on a few practices and get my ducks in a row.
What about doing some just a few clinics for people so the kids can see if they even like it?
I
Gauge
think,
the
Sometime,
interest.
anytime
You can do that
without,
this year.
yeah, that's,
Could you use just a center mat for just some
I don't
clinics?
think so.
No?
I would
Okay.
like to have the clinics happen coinciding with practice.
Okay.
It's really intense. Like, I wrestled and played basketball during the same season because they happen at the same season, but I was kind of a freak as a kid. Like, I just was nonstop energizer, so.
Non-stop, just
I
as
was,
a kid.
I wasn't, I've slowed down a lot. I don't think most kids are gonna choose, they're gonna say basketball or wrestling, so that's already gonna thin down the herd a little bit, so I don't know, I'm still chewing on like how to do that and what dates. Maybe basketball just, comes on the tail end of when wrestling happens. I'm still chewing on it, like I said.
Well, if you look into it more and you get more dates of what you'd like to see, if it's something that we're gonna go down that road, I'm gonna bring it up to the board just to get the approval that we can look into it
Perfect.
further. And then it wouldn't be for this year, it would be more for budget-wise for next year. Because like you've said, Hope said, John said, we have a lot on our plate already. We kind of need to thin down, but if we're looking at some things while we're looking at also, having to start assessing the budget for next year, even though we just started this year, it's gonna give us that idea of what we need to add into that budget, what we're looking at wise.
because we have to have the budget in by,
Right.
Yes,
To just gauge
December.
some interest and see. I mean, maybe we have 5 kids, maybe we have 20 kids.
Yeah.
But
tell
before
you-
I can post to gauge the interest, I need to get the selectmen to be approving of it
Right.
first.
I'll tell you my 3 overall goals then are by January. Sit in on a wrestling practice and ID a few high school wrestlers that want to help out and volunteer. Get another mat or 2.
Yes.
I know it was really
prices.
great that you got a free mat. Like, that's amazing. You can't do better than free, and it looked like it was in good condition.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna have more than 5 or 6 kids doing a clinic, you can't just use a center mat. You need one on each side. You run laps, you do drills, people spread out. And then the last thing was ID tournament, specific tournaments that we want to do. And I will need all of winter to kind of
Now,
creep around and ask about, different high schoolers, who they're plugged into. Maybe their little brothers wrestle through Massabesic, yada, yada. Just get a full rundown of all the tournaments in York, Maine.
an
this
extra
area.
thought is considering contacting the schools to see if we could borrow and use, because I know like the Massabesic Youth Wrestling Club,
Yeah.
we use the high school's wrestling mats.
Yeah, that would be
We're in
ideal.
charge of, we wash them down and we roll them back up.
I would
but we
totally do that.
use-
Would you
I'd
go
be-
to Sanford to do it?
That works for
mean,
me.
you
And
can talk to
if I get in
Massabesic
good
too.
with the
That's-
Sanford wrestling team and I just say, hey, these 2 days a week, you have like an off day here and you guys then practice at 6 or 5 on these days, can we use it 2 days a week? I would love to do that.
Ask them, put that on your list to ask when you go in?
Yeah.
Do we have to
We've had,
transport
we've
it?
had
other
compound.
equipment do
We
you
have to transport
No,
it?
they go to the high school to do it.
Oh,
You just roll them out
oh,
and
you
use them.
practice
Kids would buy
there.
it.
Yeah, we
Head
practice right at the high
expensive.
school.
Or you can work your Facebook magic and get some free ones again.
but
But yeah,
we would
it's gross
supply
and-
community headgear.
Use your Facebook
But I'm
magic.
like almost not wanting to have community headgear, because I remember growing up, they had like practically worms
Yeah, no, I
coming out of
wouldn't be
them.
sure. The most that like we
Just-
have is like, we have a pile of like,
I'd have it, I'd have-
of shoes, like if
I'm kidding.
anyone's.
I'm
putting
saying
their
practically
shoes
worms
in.
coming out of them, because it's just so gross. You're sweating profusely through your head all practice.
Yeah.
It's not
You
like
got
baseball.
They should have their own. That's
guys bear pawing each other and ripping them like real early on, and then germs and bacteria get all
No, we
embedded
have
in
backup shoes in case someone needs them that people donate in, but outside, and spray them down
I was gonna
also,
say,
but
they can
outside
be
of that, everyone
disinfected
has to get their
easily,
own
yeah.
headgear.
there. We'd have community for emergency only, like some kid forgets it, but I'll make sure he doesn't forget it again, because that'll be a push-up suicide drill situation there.
Okay, so put that on your agenda, make sure that we can get costs of what we're looking at for what we would need. And then I'll visit that with the selectmen to make sure they're okay with us doing it. And then we can put that for budget-wise for next year as well.
And TJ, I can help you with the tournament schedules too, cause I'll have it from Connor, so.
And so she's in the wrestling.
We're in,
Are you-
we do the wrestling,
Through Massabesic?
Yeah.
I might, when does his practices or whatever?
So, they had to unfortunately cancel, but this month they were doing, open mats,
Sweet.
that he was getting to do, but they canceled it with all the high school sports starting.
Okay.
So, but we should be getting word within the next month or so when signups will
When he
be, I'm
has, when he
assuming.
has a practice or two, can you let us know on the distro, or let me know, and I'm just gonna come watch a practice,
Yeah,
just to
absolutely.
kinda see how they run their practice and get everything down.
It's super structured, so, it's definitely, they do. Connor gets his workout.
So, gymnastics is the next thing. So Coach Nicole has been doing awesome with the tumbling and the cheer group. There's a lot of kids that would like to do a gymnastics type thing, so she would like to do gymnastics as well. We've thought about, I gotta go to the selectmen about it as well, see if we can, A, do it, and B, can we do it in here, because she's got more mats that we can use, she's got the bar, and if we're worried about scratching the floor, she can bring another rug and we can put underneath the bar. And then there's also some other parents that have some of the octagon mats that we were looking at that we were going to need, that's like a $600 mat.
nice.
So, any opposers to doing a
I think
gymnastics
that's
thing?
great. I mean, she's already established it. so.
Yeah, she was really good with those
And
kids.
she's an instructor anyways, so it's somebody who knows her stuff, she knows about the safety aspects.
How'd that go outside? Was
Oh,
the
it's amazing.
feedback great?
Yep, as long as she can get into the shack so that she can, pump up her mats, she's got a blow-up mat, and then she takes some pressure out in that for different age groups. She's got one of the square ones that folds out to a ramp, she's got a few other things.
I'm
and
glad
she's
that
been-
worked out. It sounded like it had a lot of participation. I was almost surprised.
Yeah, there were a lot
Yeah,
of
that
kids.
was-
Kids want to do gymnastics and don't have the opportunity to, so.
Yep, that one's a huge one, so I'll bring that one up to the board as well, make sure that they're okay with it, and again, it's with a certified trainer.
At the school?
Because of the time frame, I'm going to see if there's a possibility that we can do it here, because they're going to be, when she's doing that, I mean, she might be able to do it at the school, but I gotta see between either doing it here or doing it at the school, which is going to have more of the availability depending on what month she wants to do it. She wants to do it during soccer, which I think is her goal. We can probably do it at the school, because they'll be out on the soccer field. And then we're gonna have to figure out for cheer and all of that. So cheer's coming up for baseball or basketball season. She's gonna let me know about her dates on that as well. Then we have the self-defense class. So one of the things that we've talked about briefly here and there, and we've seen a lot of issues where we see, somebody posting on the Walmart in Sanford or something, that they've been stalked by a gentleman going through the aisles. It's
Yeah,
been
it's
bad, and
crazy.
it's getting bad again.
You had Pride Drive-In is being investigated because.
For the owner.
Girls being lured into the back room and stuff.
Yes, so,
Said Pride Drive-In?
yes.
What is Pride
Pride
Drive-In?
Corner Drive-In, it's a drive-in movie theater in Westbrook.
So it's becoming one of those that there's becoming more targets out there, and it doesn't matter if you're a mom with small kids, if you're an older lady, they're targeting a lot of women right now, so we were looking at trying to offer another self-defense class. Again, we need the selectmen approval. And they would do it most likely right here because they need the power and everything. Is that something everybody would be okay with?
It would be the same one that me and you took.
She was really, I really liked her.
Yeah.
Me and all the kids all want to do it. Jordan, obviously pending
So,
when surgery happens and her healing, but.
so she charged $40 per person, and the library covered 20 of each person, and it was a maximum of 20 people.
So I'm not sure
So I
how
don't
it
know how
would
you wanna
work if we can cover or not, because we didn't budget it, unless we get the selectmen to approve.
I don't think, you know, $40 is.
No,
not
40
that
isn't bad. I mean, it's needed. It's
So,
needed.
and that comes with a free pepper spray. Yeah.
Oh, and some other things, because Hope's got all of these.
Yeah, she bought that
Oh, and it's like, ooh, this is, I mean,
I
really
remember.
because it was really fun. It's
I
like, oh,
remember.
could do some damage.
stuff. Yeah, I remember that, Hope. You're like, oh, I gotta dig
But
this.
I know
this.
even Connor asked.
Yes.
Yes,
Really? Can I see?
that is.
So we
Yep.
can.
Right,
we can-
mine's the scorpion.
Asked if he would be able to.
Those
do
are
it.
fine.
Even if you have an
They're
adult
legal in
and a kid.
Massachusetts and possibly New
So
Hampshire.
the one for adults is women only, but she does a kids one
Sharp enough
that
to
we
do some
did
damage.
here
And
through the library,
suggested
and
this
that
one?
went really well. They taught
This one will-
tricky. It was a
Oh,
tricky adult. Tricky
It wasn't
adults.
stranger danger, it was
And tricky adults, and you got,
like
and
a
they had
groove
ice
in there or
cream.
Because there's grooves in it.
So it went
Versus
really
like the
well.
baton
I couldn't go, I was
I,
sick.
I definitely think it would be
Yeah.
good because, like, I know a lot of like
My self-defense.
Jordan knows,
Myself for a
you know,
fact.
but some other kids I know, they have no idea how to get themselves out of
She just
situations.
says to be aware, you know, it wasn't terrifying, it was a lot of comments, you know.
It was.
You know, I work in Boston, I'm in a sketchy neighborhood, I
Yeah.
know that I'm aware of my surroundings.
I've learned stuff from
But you're
TikTok,
not
seeing
so
how to get out of
wary.
tricky
You know what's really
spots.
sad is that's not legal in Boston.
No, it's
No.
not.
No.
Nor is my, well, I guess I can use my pepper spray, but probably
spray
not,
legal?
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was legal either.
My taser, my taser.
Pepper is, okay.
Spray is-
My taser's in my car.
So self-defense class is definitely on the board then. I
Yeah.
will talk with the board, the selectmen, and see, because that would be a perfect thing to
Guys
do
all
during the
perked right
winter.
up for that one.
And who knows, we can either do it here, or maybe Barn Lights has some opening and we can do it over at Barn
They
Lights.
did the kids
I'm
one.
gonna send my house.
Because
to
then if they wanna do a little luncheon or something, they can do a luncheon at the same time.
They did a kids one,
So we can
it was really cool for the
talk about
kids.
that.
Yeah, it was.
That's what she was saying.
Yeah,
She's
it was through the
like,
same
you know,
company.
kids,
Kids
because,
do that.
you know, kids need to know how to get themselves out of stuff.
The kids one is shorter. It was what, 2 hours, right?
But
Or-
we didn't make that one.
I think the kids one was 2. Ours would be 4. I think it was 4 hours.
Oh yeah, it was a long class.
So they did like a video and they did like information ahead of time, and then Bob. we got
was
to,
present.
We got to do Bob.
To do Bob, that sounds bad. Okay.
No, no.
Sorry. All right, so moving.
Okay,
Yoga
moving.
class. We have a yoga instructor that would be willing to donate her time to do yoga classes with us. We can do kids, like do a kids yoga
And the
class.
adults can go in the back and join.
Yeah, the adults can follow suit, but it's going to be primarily towards the kiddos. Is that something that everybody would be interested in offering?
Yeah, why
What
not?
about an adult one?
She does kids right now, but she said she's gonna gear it towards, it's more like beginners and like kids, but the adults can do it too, but they have to be in like the
Sure, we
back.
could see if we can find
Yeah.
an
Yeah, but
instructor
what
that
about a
could do
private
an adult.
instructor for an adult one?
Oh, yeah, she
To
can
do cheer aerobics at the church, and I don't think they do that anymore, but
We have some instructors that are in town. It's just-
Kathy.
problem is her timing. She doesn't have time to do it.
They'll charge.
at all.
She, not without charging.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Older people want days.
Yeah.
I would think it'd be more an adult thing. I don't know if kids.
Well, that's what I would think. It would be more of an adult thing too.
My
but
kids
it's
in
time to-
yoga, like the two, like those ideas don't.
So,
You think that, but actually
Right.
having to practice them doing it.
Yeah.
Like Connor has ADHD, he's all over the place, but
My youngest
actually,
would just run that class.
like, it's helped him actually calm down.
I think
Like
just to help
it
manage
channels him
self-control.
in.
I think.
That
Yeah,
he actually
it's-
like
yeah.
was not a kid who did it, but
Okay.
I've already-
making him
If it
do
doesn't
it.
work, we don't do it again.
right.
Well, we've also
Skeptical, but I'll try anything once.
we have the library has done it once where on some Wednesdays, so the rotating Wednesdays and that prior to COVID, it used to be once a month or something. We would have somebody come in and they would do the big parachute in here. Another one they did a yoga, and the kids that came for that were all the littles, and they did awesome. They
Yeah.
had a great time. So I think it's something to look into. I would love to find an instructor that would be willing to do adults too,
I can
because
ask her.
ask her.
I can
mean,
ask her.
If she does the kids, she might be willing to do
You
the
know,
adults.
someone in training who needs,
Yeah,
a couple of classes to get their certification.
She has all hers, and she said she'd just do it for free for the kids, like, we can try it, like, she'll do once a week for like a month, and then if it doesn't go well, because I already have a couple parents that are like, oh my god, that'd be awesome, because it teaches, like,
It's a lot.
it's like calming. She does a lot of
To
calming.
count to 10 and to
Yeah,
breathe.
a lot of
You're not
calming.
holding your breath
Yeah.
because you're so angry, you're
And she
breathing.
teaches kids yoga.
It's for them to relax.
She's not gonna do like the.
It just diffuses the
Yeah,
bomb.
yeah.
And they have the control to do that. They just need to learn it.
Yeah, and it's free, so,
And this is great winter things to
Yeah.
kind of offset for those kids that don't do basketball and don't do soccer
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. It'll be something to kind of get them so that they're still getting out and doing something.
Yeah.
But they're not, they're not necessarily running across the field. because
Right,
they
right.
don't
And I also think we could probably offer something that has more appeal for the masses in terms of something fun, but we'll jump off that bridge. We'll
this-
find it.
Yoga, for example, if the yoga worked out well or something, we could potentially do it into the summer and that for the offset, like where we have that gap from between like March and June where we have nothing going on. We can do other things as well.
Right. And they take that mat and they can practice,
Yep.
in their own home.
So the next thing is a cookie decorating class. So I've reached out, I wanted to confirm with you guys, I reached out to Lori Beth, she's Little Farm Bakery over in Shapley. She would be willing to donate her time. It would probably end up being, I don't know, like $5 or $10 a participant just for the ingredients. But she had thought about doing once a month a class where it always focuses on, I'm gonna pull it up so I can look at it. It would focus on whatever the holiday is per se coming up.
So could we time that with the tree lighting?
I can ask her about trying to do the tree lighting as well, so she can actually be the one that kind of heads it, and then she can have people sign up for other classes. So we were kind of thinking like classes that she would find, like September, the end of September, you could do a pumpkin or a ghost-shaped cookie for Halloween. October, you could do dinner roll or pie classes for Thanksgiving. November, like a Christmas cakes. December, we can do New Year's something, and January, like Valentine's cookies.
I think that's nice.
So it'd be once a month.
Is she taking the money, or are you buying the ingredients?
I think it would probably be for us, like the $5 towards us for the ingredients, and we would buy the ingredients, supply her with the
She's gonna
ingredients. and she
donate
would-
If she
time.
takes the money, she has to be bonded, and
Yes.
she has to.
So it would be,
have
the
her
money
$1
would be to
policy.
us, and then, we would,
get the
out of that money,
supplies.
we would take, and reimburse for the ingredients.
And I can get stuff donated.
So, we would work on that where it would be literally just, she would be doing us the favor from what I'm gathering, and money would just be ingredients. So it'd be like $5 or $10 a person, but we would want them to pre-register so that we would know who's coming, how many we have.
You're lucky she likes you.
So I've been talking with her, is everybody okay with something like that? We could probably do it at the cafeteria, we could do it here if we had to.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah, the oven works here well. That came out backwards.
well, I think
it'll be cooked, right, already?
it should all be cooked, but are we allowed to use the kitchen here?
I have in the past.
Yeah, I have in the past, but a lot of people won't use the kitchen here.
Well, I was gonna say, I thought that it was not, we weren't allowed to.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that might be a
I mean, it might
different
have been just
situation.
a one and done, which is fine, but
But if it's just decorating the cookies, to me, would
Yeah,
already be
well, I think-
done.
I
Like,
think
she'd already
everything
have
should
them
already
the
pre-cooked,
baking of
we're
rolls
just-
and
Yeah.
cakes. you'd
We're
wanna-
just
She'd be
decorating
doing
them.
it, yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so we'll
We
figure it out.
wouldn't even need that.
The other question for something, and I know it brings up about having a lot going on, is a possible music class / production.
That would be in like the summer.
It would probably be like next summer and that, so it would be looking at for something for next year's scheduling anyways, not for this
Or the
year.
winter.
Can do it over the winter, do something where it brings the kids in and they get to do a production maybe during when school's not going on. To kind of,
And you could also consider the homeschooling groups.
yep.
And would that like roll on the back of the improv or totally separate?
So it's separate.
It's separate.
Yeah, so you want me to explain it?
Yes.
Okay. So have you heard of Kind Kids Music? They're in Saco.
We need to include.
And they do a lot of like music performances, and they donate a lot of instruments to kids that can't afford them. And so they would come and like bring their instruments and like teach that or they teach a song, or they would do like a music performance for everybody. So we're looking into that.
I think that's fun. When I was little, back in the dark ages, I think in 3rd grade, we all got these little plastic recorders.
Yes,
And
oh
it
my
was
gosh,
just,
I remember.
right, it was such
We missed that because of COVID.
My mother-in-law and father-in-law have bought both the girls and my
recorders.
sister-in-law recorders, so I have like 4 recorders, and every now and then they find them.
Yeah.
And it's.
But you learn how to read music. I mean, it's valuable. And I mean, what do they cost? Like $4 a piece?
Actually, at the dollar store.
Dollar store has
The school always did, 3rd grade, they did recorders.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what
know
I'm.
if they still do or not,
Boy,
but.
good thing we're not there yet.
But like I told
for-
her that in homeschooling, we have to have fine arts and stuff for homeschooling, so it would be a really good addition, because then we wouldn't have, parents
Absolutely.
wouldn't have to be really doing it. It'd be something that we can put on
Absolutely.
their academics and have
I'm
it
just saying
done.
for like a really inexpensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this case.
Yeah, so
Whether
I
it's
mean,
singing
something
or,
for
you
them.
know.
something,
learn.
because I got the idea because Terry Minahan's granddaughter and friend, they went to a music camp this summer, and it was in Milton, and they're like, oh, we really wish we should have something in Acton. I'm like, oh, idea.
So, okay, so that one's another one I will bring to the board. The board's gonna be like, whoa.
right?
Hey Sam, I gotta take off soon. Are we wrapping up in the next 5 or?
Yeah,
Yep.
we're almost at the very end.
Yep.
Yep. And then the only other thing I think that I had on my list is looking at a sewing class. So we have I kind of had it in the back burner, but I know she went through an injury, so I was kind of waiting a little while before approaching her. We have the quilting shop here in town. She has stated in the past, when I've talked to her about a year ago or so, she'd stated that she's done classes in that for kids on sewing machines. So I wanted to approach her about possibly doing a sewing class for some kids.
You've got-
and seeing what that would be.
You've got that Little Things Sewing Studio
Yeah, where's
too.
that, though?
That's
I know. Okay. I'd like to try to use the one that's more local.
yeah, if she can't,
If
you
she,
know.
yeah.
Do we have sewing machines to use?
A lot of times when they do a class, they have their demo machines that are in the building. So it would be something I would have to talk to her about and figure out what the requirements would be, if she had stuff. Otherwise, we can always look at another location that does them. Maybe somebody would be willing to come here with it, kind of go off of that. But that is something that is also on, because we have those crafty kids that, again, they're not into sports, but they like making things. They like doing things. So it would give another good idea of getting them so that they're off of their screens. And we can even do one for the adults, because I know a lot of adults that would love to learn how to sew and they don't know how to.
I have a sewing machine and I have no idea how to use it.
Oh my God, mine is almost burnt out. I do a lot of quilting in that. I've actually taken a break from quilting and I do the Cricut. So that is something that I would also like to look into, as long as you guys are okay.
So what about knitting and, or crocheting also? That's one of the things that, I know that, older generation may be interested in also.
I can look into it.
I can do loom knitting. I can teach loom knitting. But if you want crocheting, I know somebody too.
I crochet too.
I can do loom, that's it.
We could look into doing a knitting or a crocheting. Crocheting.
Even if it's just come, we'll sit here on a Tuesday afternoon and have a glass of wine and work on whatever projects we're working on. I mean, a lot of these projects are
It's like-
portable.
Yeah, it's like a
So
book
you
club
could
for the
either do a
library.
group, or you could do a class, so, like a book club. You could
Yeah.
do a knitting club.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's something that, for the next
The adults.
older generation, you could gear it one way or the other for knitting or sewing.
I like the group so that it just, there's no fee involved, there's
Yeah, it's just
there's
to come
nothing to
together
supply
and-
except make, a pot of coffee or something, and people can come and, you do your crocheting and you do your quilting and you bring your loom and, you just sit in kibitz and.
But it would be also nice for the people that don't know how to do it.
To learn.
to have people teach them how to do it.
But from that little
Yes.
group, we might actually find an instructor.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
so see.
That's something that I know that
Yeah.
the older generation,
Hold on.
Yeah.
it would be interested in, and
Okay, so I'll put that as another one.
So CJ Gardner, she was going to teach a knitting class through the library, but nobody signed up, but she might be one that would
Yeah, I
be
can talk to CJ.
willing.
You know, all
Stuff
options
you
are
want
good
about.
options. Just, winter's coming. I think if we can keep,
Going.
senior citizens
Yeah.
just engaged. I mean, we don't need to occupy every minute.
Right.
But if we can just say, we're gonna open the doors on one day and just bring whatever it is you're working on, and you can,
Yeah.
give us a little description, what you're doing and how you're doing, and then everyone just learns something or shares something.
Wonder if we could convince Sue to come. Sue Walsh.
Oh, yeah. She's a good knitter.
She does a lot too.
I'm gonna send John to her obedience class.
Sit instead. No bark.
She just has such an easy manner.
Yes.
I love
You
Sue.
don't feel like you're being corrected.
So I know today was a lot. I know we went over a lot of information. I know we went over a lot of potentials of what we would like to add and what we're looking at, as well as what we're working on.
Even though there was a lot, I just have to comment, this time felt a lot more structured, organized, moving
Productive.
forward.
And you're doing soccer research, you're gonna do the website, and
Yeah.
we're gonna do, some ideas for the Christmas thing. We're gonna do the
Feels
trail
like we're
walk.
taking balloons now and we're actually
And
tying them down instead of
we're
letting them float
grounded.
everywhere.
We all have our, you're gonna double check with Nicole about the nutrition and see
Yes.
what we need to do there.
And see if we can change that to a Sunday. And then I'm also going to let, for the moms, I'm gonna actually change the pickup location on that. So I'll change it on everything, and I'll let them know we're actually gonna have it delivered over to
And
the,
anything that's left over, I assume we can just throw in the back of the pickup and bring here, and
Yeah,
people can grab them
sure.
here.
I wanted to ask, do we need any more play structures for the rec field?
any more what?
Play structures?
Probably not right now.
We're good?
We have.
I
a-
hate to say no,
Yeah.
where can we put them? Can we find another space to put them? is the
Yeah, if we get a
question.
shed.
I think right
Right.
now, I
We're
think
all
they're
set.
good because we have
Because-
4 of them.
They're all, it's the end of the season, so they're all going really cheap. So
I
I was
know.
just asking.
I wouldn't.
rather not
Are there some that need to be replaced?
No,
Let's put it
oh,
that
that's true.
What I see happening, and I've tried to correct my kids, is the older ones
Oh, they're having a blast, yeah.
destroying, jumping and pushing on them, and I think bringing in more, wasting money on it wouldn't be smart because
Well, it'd be
the bigger
free.
kids will not stay off of them.
They like to jump, they like to go roof to roof. Someone,
And I
I mean,
keep having, like, I'm not gonna speak to other kids' children, but, I've told, no, you are not a child,
Oh,
you're
I
not a
speak to
little
all
one.
kids.
Can you put a sign up for a certain age only?
That's,
We probably could, but the problem is that we're getting so much signage around now that I think they would probably just
What if we
ignore
made a
it.
post on the Facebook, please,
Yeah, just-
please have your children refrain
yeah,
from
but
using
I
these.
think we can police that when we're there as
I think-
rec committee
If-
members and
if
just
we,
saying,
if we're allowed to say
You're gonna
something.
get hurt.
Yeah, say something.
You're gonna get hurt.
Say something, because
I think
especially as being
over
part of the
4
board,
shouldn't
it's-
even be
I
on
know.
them. I mean,
I wouldn't say over 4, because my almost 7-year-old.
yeah,
would
my
do
son
that.
went on it. Can we
It's
have
the
something
kids,
for the
it's
older
when they
kids? I don't know what we
Yeah,
could
why
have.
not?
I don't know what we could have for the older
Well,
kids.
the
though.
older kids are there for the
They got the
functions.
basketball and the
Yeah.
functions. So the
But-
biggest thing is if you see a kid climbing on top of him, tell him to get down. Most of the parents are pretty good at telling the
Yeah.
kids as well. But the other problem is those aren't going to be, I don't want to buy more of them because they're not supposed to be a long-term
That's true.
thing.
Right.
Because they're residential use.
Right.
So they're only supposed to be there for this season and possibly next season to kind of get us through until we
Yeah.
can hopefully get a swing.
And it's fine for the littles, it'll stand
Yeah.
up for the little ones, and that
I
was
just want,
kind of
I don't
by
want them to be
design.
destroyed by the bigger
Yeah,
kids.
I know.
That's
Some of
I know.
them,
becoming,
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, I've been seeing a lot when I'm
But
If you
they're
see the
bored
kids,
there,
comment
so we
them.
need another game. We saw this big, wasn't ring toss. They were putting the rings
Connect
in where the
Four.
Connect
So
Four,
it's a-
like it was
It
massive.
was at the brewery in Limerick.
So can you find
they
Yes.
have-
I mean,
Yes.
we could
I know
buy
that.
It
something.
was
We
about
have
this
money in the
big by
budget
this
for some
tall
of these
with the-
things.
They had one on Amazon for like
Rings that
10,
big around.
15.
Right?
Yeah,
You got
I'll
it.
work on that.
But this was
Yeah.
life size.
right?
It was huge,
Fell
yeah.
and then
They
he
have
backed out.
a giant
Yeah,
twister
never
like that
backed me
too.
down.
We have
Because I'd
it.
rather
And
do
we
instead
have
of plastic structures, I'd rather do
A
glued or
cornhole
something.
that we could, it just can't be outside. It wouldn't,
Yeah.
it wouldn't last
Let
the mist at night. But we
Yeah.
have things that we could, for the older kids
Yeah, let
to
me
do.
work on that for,
The only thing to remember is be careful with getting any of the plastic stuff, because the bigger kids are more rough. And I have a feeling a lot of the plastic stuff will get ruined.
I think this was wooden.
So if you can find wood stuff.
Yeah.
I'd much rather do wood or some solid structure that we can move around.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's not gonna last us very long, even though we're gonna be taking them in and out unless they bolt down outside.
Can I
I'll work
go
on it.
back to the signage before we break? The next time someone's at Walmart, or maybe you guys have them at home already, like the bicycle streamers,
Oh.
can we get one for the no smoking sign that I'm always cracking my head on when I'm setting up the
Oh,
shop?
so you don't, yeah. We do
It'll be
also-
cheaper than
That's the one I
stitches.
get my head on.
We do also have the play at your own risk signs. They're still sitting on top of the boxes. Robin's supposed to be taking them at some point and going to hang them up, so I'll probably message him again to kind of,
And right along where the fence is and the little Tykes toys are. I think we want that to be visible. That's
I want one right
just to
on-
go back to Carissa's point.
Yeah.
I would like one right there, especially where the fence is taller. I'd like it right there so it's eye level, and I'd also like one right on the back of the baseball splash.
Fine.
So that way it's above the garden area, but right there,
That's-
so that you see it when you first pull in.
Couple things I just want, doesn't have to be discussion on it, just things that some of the older generation may be interested in, is topics on money matters, that you could have someone come in, or health matters, Alzheimer's, if you could find someone that would come in and talk about Alzheimer's, or next planning for, older, what am I?
Retirement needs,
Huh?
health
Yeah.
needs.
Yeah, and then I guess the fire department has done things like blood pressure checks, and they'd come in and.
Oh, that's a nice idea.
They would go over first aid and blood pressure checks and stuff like that for the older generation. Could be just a one-time type thing. The same thing for like the money matters, like planning for, living wills, any, that type
Planning
of
for the
stuff.
golden
Oh,
years.
so that would be more like
that would be for,
estate
like,
planning.
Estate planning.
Yeah, I don't know who you would find that. They were saying even like people at the banks, or.
A local attorney.
Yeah.
There's someone right in Springdale. There might be someone closer,
Yeah,
but
so
there's
that's
a
a couple of
family.
things,
Hi, TJ,
When are you
thank
planning on
you.
going to the field?
I'm sorry?
Are you going to the field this week?
Yeah, in the next 2 weeks, I'll coordinate with you the day. You do a walkthrough of where you want, what you want, and then me and the boys will take care of it.
All right, wait, and are we meeting here Tuesday at 3 to do
Oh,
the
that's right, we were gonna
shed?
go to the shed.
Yeah, let's do that.
Do you have 2 seconds? Sure. Okay, let's go do the shed really quick. All right, we are good in here. We're gonna go do a walkthrough in the shed just to kind of see what needs to go and what. We're good?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. I gotta
Thank
pop.
you.
Are we coming back in here or no?